Angry, 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 angry Ozzy. 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 Angry, 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 angry Ozzy. 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 Angry, 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 angry.
Woof, and there we go. Ready, live, happening, Saturday night. Here we are. Theoretically, being joined by Aidsy. Could happen anywhere between now and an hour from now, or maybe not at all. Who knows? But I was just in the communication with the boy, and said he's going to join. So I sent him the link. And Robot Man Greg, good evening to you, sir. Nice to see you. And I will just have a refreshing glass of water now. Definitely not a clarified cocktail with my clear ice in it. Looking sexy as hell. I just really like clear ice. Even I've got my ghetto way of making it. Well, there's a clarified sour appletini I made with my homemade apple vodka and sour apple liqueur. And it's really good, the sourness, even in the clarification. The sourness is coming through really well. It's actually quite nice. Little treat, which is nice when that works. So actually, I think after making a bunch of cocktails last night, I might just have pre-mixed. No, Greg, I lasted till however long I lasted. I think it's to one without having an app, which was nice. Micro, we didn't really start without you. We've barely been here. So this is the start. And in fact, that's a fun question, though, because I don't remember what time it was when I went to bed last night. How long was the stream? 5.5 hours. So, okay. So somewhere around 1:30, we called it quits. For whatever reason, at 1:30, we decided that's enough. I wonder whether there's an American style. There's woo is just the way you said woo. Yep, no, I got it. That is fine and dandy. So cheers to you, sir. Okay, so today's stream, I might get really tired because I was going to have a nap during the day today because I was up till 2. And I didn't. So I feel fine now, but I might run out. So 3 hours maybe tonight, maybe 4. Who knows? But so local time, I'll probably go to sometime between 11 and 12, unless I get really tired, and I might friggin' fade at 10. Who knows? In all seriousness, a couple of beverages usually gets me going, even though alcohol is, of course, a depressant, not a stimulant. It can trick your brain into thinking it's a stimulant, though, which is weird. So Marco, yeah, so we might still be here when you go home, yeah. So that would be good. We'll see what happens. It's a whole mystery tour. We don't know what's going to happen. Much like the mystery of Aidsy. I was just texting him, and it was like, yeah, had a sleep today, so he wants to join. And I'm like, okay. And he hasn't joined yet, so who knows? Got Red Bulls. I actually have some energy drinks here. I had one before last night's stream, And I mean like a 500 ml one, not a little Red Bull. And I needed to G myself up for a Friday night marathon. And then I had one when I woke up this morning to face the day. Abigail, hello. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. So Micro AZ said he would be here. And nobody, greetings to you as well, sir. Yeah. So tonight, surprise package. Anything could happen. Including nothing. The spectrum of things that could happen go from nothing to everything. Where on that spectrum will we be? Okay, what's this? Is this a thank you? Oh, okay. Okay. He thinks he might not be here long, but he's going to be here apparently. So thought him stick his head in and say hello. I will, Micro. I'll tell him you're disappointed by missing him. But yeah, he may be here any moment, or time moves differently for AZ. So, anywhere between now and never. So nobody. Ultraya went well enough. Crank the sound right up for them. Nice, good. Oh my god, you called it night without him. Oh, that's no good. That's no good at all. No one does cold, lonely nights. Also, I know. Actually, I won't say it here. There may be another opportunity. Now I'm being mysterious. I thought of something. No, I'm not going to say that. I'll save that for another time. I'm a man of mystery. Ooh. It's not that big a deal. Yes. You assumed January. What? Sorry, that's probably in reference to something I said, and I'm not getting it. Oh, nice. Nobody at your church speakers running very loud. Cool. Pumped it as loud as you could without causing the mics to feedback, without shaking the stained glass window. You probably don't have stained glass windows. Again, that's me growing up Catholic with the churches with the stained glass windows. Yes. Megalich, hello. Nice to see you. Gotta get out of here. I realized I'd probably spared myself looking at news sites today. What's on the news site? Oh, God. Shitheads who have no integrity talking about carbon emissions. China saying they're definitely going for reunification with Taiwan, which is potentially troublesome for the entire world. Yeah, and we're rocking up to 2,000 cases a day in Melbourne, which fucking sucks and is lay the blame squarely at the feet of Gladys Berejiklian and Scott Morrison for slightly different reasons, but fuck them. Like headlines, I'm not going to bother looking at one in the Age saying, quote, troubled me greatly. Victorian police officer quits over enforcing CHO directions. There's an area for cops to have integrity and not want to use excessive force on people. But the police force is also full of Nazis and racists. So I question the integrity behind that decision. My immediate assumption is the cop is a fucking fruitcake with QAnon or something. Jesus, Micro. You don't want to rush to go to war. No one should be in a rush to go to war. Because it's not good. not least the degree to which it would spiral out of control very quickly. But I agree, China should not use force on Taiwan. I mean, they're a totalitarian dictatorship. Fuck the Chinese dictatorship, quite honestly. But yeah. Marco, since the weather's all flipped, assume December to March be the best month for visiting. December to March is the hottest months for visiting, definitely. So it depends what you like. I mean, spring is a bit more volatile, but personally, around this time of year, it tends to be my favorite. October, November, you get like mid-20s. It's nice. Abigail, tired tonight. How tired? So fucking tired. Yep. I don't know how long I'm going to last either. Oh, did I say hi, Nettie? Hello, Nettie. Yeah. Nettie, I'm actually not that well versed in the history. China just believes Taiwan is their territory from a historical perspective. And a lot of people in Taiwan like to feel they're independent. And the Chinese Communist Party has had a different view for quite a while. Nettie, a bit worn out from last night too. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So we go. Your son willing yourself to the online IQ test. The test might surprise you. Yes. Well, we could have a whole fun conversation about the meaninglessness of IQ tests. Oh yeah, Micro saying India really has the shits with China too because of a shared border. Yep. Micro, I would just be really cautious about urging belligerent action. I think China has the largest standing army in the world, and they do have nuclear weapons as well. So I would not be leaping to armed conflict as a first resort, put it that way. Because the likelihood of it spiraling out of control is quite high. But yeah, I mean, we're lucky they've been as inwardly focused as they have been for the last 50 years, because if they were expansionist, the whole world would be in trouble. Okay, you're terrifying me with talk about nukes and better nukes. What nukes will do is kill everyone. Are we going to get... This is back to my youth, thinking we're all going to die in nuclear war because of the fucking Soviet Union. There's been a lot of time in the 80s and 90s being reasonably sure we were going to be fucked one day. I just argue very, very strongly against needless belligerence with China. I argue they shouldn't be belligerent either, but yeah. And yes, Abigail, a subpar nuke is still a fucking nuke. Yes, what nukes mean is the destruction of global civilization. Not the end of life on the planet, not necessarily even the end of human civilization, but absolute chaos and carnage and billions of deaths, certainly. I see in Micro USB. Don't get me started on the world economy. The world economy is fictional bullshit set up to protect vested interests. And the last century has just been a succession of terrible decisions made to protect oligarchies. And it's ridiculous. Prior to the 20th century, and it rolled into the 20th century, but it was bigger prior to the 20th century. There was a couple hundred years of absolutely terrible decisions being made one after the other to benefit the colonizers of Europe, which, led to hundreds of millions of death and just so much destruction around the world. The 20th century, nation states have been doing their bullshit. It seems like all the decisions have been to protect oligarchies, who are the real power behind governments. Oh, actually, Micro, I would say the way John Cena buckled to China was fucking embarrassing. Because I forget what he said. He made some sort of statement, and then it's because WWE wanted to be sold to China, or his movies wanted to be sold to China, and he got told he had to suck up to them. That was just embarrassing. Micro, I'd caution news stories about Chinese companies stealing Aussie dudes' land. That is not a story I have heard. And I feel like I would have heard it if it was actually true. And a lot of media around the world reports straight up bullshit. Celtic, theoretically, Aidsy is joining us. He's been texting me. He's yet to appear. I did send him the link. So we all know Aidsy. He could appear anywhere between now and an hour from now. As I've said before, Aidsy time is a different sort of time. It moves differently. And Aidsy's world is a little bit different to the world the rest of us live in. But, all being well, he'll at least come in and say hello. A Micro, by all means, if you've got a link, you can send me the link. Yes, nobody text Aidsy telling people are chanting his name. That usually brings him around. But he is, like I said, been texting me back and forth the last 20 minutes. So he's moving towards at least coming on and saying hello. And again, you can never tell with Aidsy, because other times where he said, I can't stay long. And then he just motors on for 2 hours. He's a little Energizer Bunny sometimes, but, also got to allow for he might be a bit under the weather today. He does definitely want to come in and say hello, but we shall see how long he actually lasts. Okay. Here's a fucking hilarious bit of news. Headline: Barilaro quietly splits from wife Deanna. There's a bunch of shit is going to come out about John Barilaro. I wonder if he'll abandon his legal case against Friendly Geordies because some absolute fucking filthy dirt's going to come out on him. But yeah, it was funny. There was a commentator online said when Barilaro quit politics the other day, they said, "Oh, just wait till you find out what's going to come out about Barilaro. He's more like Barnaby Joyce than you might think," which I actually took as a suggestion that he was having an affair. He'd been caught having an affair, which is what happened with Barnaby Joyce. And yes, for Barilaro to have split from his wife kind of suggests that. Marco, you got a detail or two wrong. Dude, and that's okay, but you re-examined the story. So, that's plus. Oh yeah, excellent text. Nobody? That's a very nice text. So yeah, a bunch of dirt's going to come out about Barilaro. And it'll be fun how much dirt comes out about Barilaro, actually. Oh God! Apparently, like some shithead from Home and Away is one like everyone's mean to me because I'm anti-vax. It's like because you're a piece of shit. Marco, I don't think you can share links here, as in YouTube won't let you post links. Stories from 60 Minutes Australia. Well, yeah, okay. I'm suspicious already. Can you send it to me on Twitter or something, and I can find it? So, Marco, 2 Aussie men bought land in Fiji. Chinese company basically just stealing it for their own project. Okay. Yeah. My warning alarms go off instantly. Two guys buy land in another country and saying a Chinese company's stealing it. That just reeks of extremely selective representation of facts. It's possibly just exactly what you say, in fact. But it's got a whole bunch of elements. Yeah, if you give me the names of the people, I could look it up. But yeah, there are multiple elements in that story. There's multiple elements in that story that red flags to me. It's just it just reeks of incredibly selective reporting. And speaking of reeking, it's AZ.
Hello and greetings. Thank you for letting me be on your device. It's very nice of you. Hi.
Good. Nice to see you. Glad you could come on and say hello.
Yes, it's nice to see me because I've come on and said hello with bags of potential sexual energy and just all kinds of talented got my nail stuck in the door handle today.
Yowzers.
Which was awkward because a mutual friend of ours did that a few times and we abused the shit out of him for it. When it wasn't so funny when it happened to me.
No.
Because it meant that I'd gotten way too fat to get in my door. And I really pulled back on the diet and had fish and chips. So that's probably fixed the problem now.
Okay.
And what about yourself? What have you been up to? Obviously, you've got a cocktail shirt that's
I have a cocktail shirt.
Right way round, which is kind of disappointing.
Yep. This one they stitched together the right way. I have a few. They are in different styles.
I don't know why. I mean, it's not saying 0G. It's not saying anti-gravity, and it's not saying best.
Astronauts at their space bar type stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Upside down cocktail shirt says, I can. Should you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right way up just says, let's get into the views.
Yep.
So that sounds like a nice sound. It sounds like a tokay being opened.
Yes. I do like Cork ASMR. Yes. You are looking a little bit sleepy, I have to say, but it's still nice that you came on. Urine sample, speaking of astronauts, but
Nice.
That's a clarified coffee cocktail. So it was like black
Nice.
before I clarified it. So
Nice. Bit of a
we'll see what
urine
that's like.
sample there.
Yeah, it's disturbing how often that happens with clarified cocktails. When you start, they're all sorts of different things. Then you clarify them, and they come out looking like a urine sample, and it's only the degree of hydration for the person giving this sample that varies, really. And every now and then, this one, I don't know, this one's a bit dark, like they might even have a urinary tract infection. But
probably just dehydrated, really.
mm,
Urinary tract infections usually show up with little bits and pieces in.
oof, that's bitter.
I had to counsel a young lady. It was a bit embarrassing today. She said that she had flora difficulties.
Right.
And she said, it only happens, only gets worse when I have the sex with my boyfriend. And I went, oh, okay. That's a sign.
Yeah.
So I said, why don't you make a game of cleaning him
Yes.
before you do the thing?
Yes, because if he's got the gunge under the foreskin, that's
that would be the thing. And
yeah.
it was kind of awkward because I kind of didn't want to,
You do want to say, I think his dick's filthy.
and I don't want to say I think his dick's filthy. And people say, oh, you're circumcision obsessed, buddy. And like, I've never turned down a dick because of shape or cut. I've turned down a couple because they were filthy.
And infected.
And that's, that's like, I've turned down 3 uncut dicks because they had stuff underneath it. You'd go, I either can or can't identify that.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
And I've turned down a couple of cut dicks because I've gone, oh no. Oh no. No. In the shower with you. And then after that, it's closed back on and you can fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to say hello to Wrestling Days, Big Pat and Chris. Hello to both of you.
Hello, Big Pat and Chris. How you going?
Hopefully they're going well. Oh, that's a classic vape pose there. Mystery Man wreathed in smoke. And hello, Raiders.
I don't know.
Micro
if
US.
this is the right one. This might be the wrong one. This might be the one that I was charging. Could be this one. It is
apparently the powers that be are trying to make it even more difficult for you to vape, banning various things.
Actually, they're making it easier.
You think?
Because they're banning the importation of your nicotine.
Yeah.
But they're going, get a script from your doctor. Saying you can have your nicotine and it'll be fine.
Okay.
All you need to do is go, I'm trying to give up the smoking, give me a script. And what are they going to say? Don't give up smoking?
Yeah. And we don't have the stuff on the market in Australia that they do in the US. But the evil fucking tobacco companies are definitely marketing to kids in the US. Absolutely.
I was all fucking a little bit fucking disturbed by the stinky fucking noise that they were making about vaping. And then I checked out the marketing over in the US, and they are aggressively selling to children, and there's no doubt about it. It's aggressive, and it's fucking really immoral. It's like fucking going to the third world to see how they make cartoons of the Cool Smoking Gang, which you can get in Indonesia, by the way. The Cool Smoking Gang is an actual cartoon. It's all in Bahasa, but it's a
They
thing. You can find it on YouTube.
they switched their marketing to Africa and Asian countries when Europe and North America and all the English-speaking companies basically banned advertising for them. But
yeah, and then obviously Australia said, well, it's a nicotine, so you can get fucked. No, I'm talking about tobacco smoking. There's tobacco smoking. There's a Indonesian cartoon called The Cool Smoking Gang, and they smoke a particular brand of cigarettes, and they there's a bit every cartoon about how much they smoke and how cool they are because they smoke more than their friends, and how every week it becomes, there's always a problem because one of them hasn't got enough money for smokes, but then something happens and then they do, and it's just insane. But anyway, over in the States, the marketing campaigns for getting chillins to vape is insane. It's insane. It's so, like, no adult needs bubblegum flavor.
yeah,
No adult needs various different, I suppose they call it candy flavor, and
yes,
they're on the telly going smooth, mild candy, name the candy flavor, and they're showing young people fucking skateboarding and fucking high-fiving and finished surfing and having their vape, and it's like, fuck, it's back in the 50s, except the technology's changed. 9 out of 10 doctors stick these up their ass for sexual pleasure. Hang on, did I got that around the wrong way, didn't I?
No, I think they were probably doing that as well, shelving them, and
I think they were.
I do. Micro's saying he actually likes the lolly flavored vape. I remember Blind Boy Boat Club, the Irish comedian whose podcast I like. I was in the Rubber Bandits. He's a vapor, and he found someone because he'd once found this. I forget what it was. It was Skittle flavor vape juice, and then no one was selling it, and he was really depressed. And then he found someone online selling it, so he ordered like big boxes of this Skittle flavored vape juice because he really liked it. So, but I mean, the ad I saw that freaked me out that they were doing, they were aggressively marketing vaping to non-smokers, and everyone in that ad definitely looked under 25. I think they all looked under 20. And someone's just going like, "You don't smoke, try this, it's easy." And so they're all huffing vape and going, "Oh yeah, smoking's terrible, but this tastes nice." The entire ad was going, "Hey, if you don't smoke, you should vape." I mean, seriously, it's speaking about, the old Thanos snap. Who would that Thanos idea of doing it randomly is bullshit. Do it to people who fucking deserve it and go, who's going to judge me? I'll judge every motherfucker. I'll judge every. Motherfucker. Oh, Helly and hello, Kirsten, by the way.
Hello.
Yes. Oh, Jesus. Micro USB. I don't know if you're saying that. Mike says, well, why would adults need sour apple or whipped cream flavored vodka? Why indeed? Those things should be off the goddamn market. But again, okay, well, there's what we call Alco Pops in Australia, which is alcoholic soft drink. Now, the most recent reinvention of them, they're called hard seltzers. They are definitely aimed at fucking kids. It's like alcoholic fizzy drink. And it's like, this doesn't taste nasty like beer or wine or the alcohol. And I can get shit-faced on it. Speaking of getting shit-faced, Kirsten says she's finished unpacking all the boxes of booze she got out of storage. So that's not a small undertaking. That's not a small
weekend's
undertaking.
work. That's 5 weekends' work. Well done.
Yeah. Abigail says Alka Pops, also known as leg openers. I do remember Bill Blakey had a line about dodgy, cheap wine. And he's holding up this bottle of questionable wine. He go, oh yes, that fine French label Le Gopener.
When I used to work for the wine company as a bottle washer, we got this because we used to bottle it and label it, and then when you finish the bottle, you brought the bottle back in, and we used to wash the bottle and refill it, relabel it, and sell it again. And you got a bounty on each bottle you brought back, and it was the whole idea. It was supposed to be environmentally sound. It wasn't. Anyway, we had this cubic meter of wine come in that was just fucking shocking, but it was at least a fairly high alcohol by volume. And they said, fuck, the only good thing about this is it's probably a leg opener. And I said, why don't you call it leg opener? And they said, we can't fucking call it leg opener. I said, you can work something out. Anyway, they ended up calling it Red Punjil.
Oh dear.
And it's sold really well.
Oh dear.
They didn't sell it for a super low price. It was lower priced. But we were always worried when people bought it that they would never be back. But no one bought it on its own. Everyone bought it within a group of other stuff.
A mixed half dozen.
Because whenever we got in something from Rutherford, they used to just go. So we'd ring up the subscriber style customers and go, the Rutherford's in. You better get on down here. And they'd come in and they'd order a case. You were only allowed to have a case,
right?
No more than one. Because we'd only have we get 4 cubic meters in, and that's 5 pallets. And so we only have 5 pallets in, and then 3 pallets would be gone in a day. And so we'd have 2 pallets left. And by the end of a week and a half, 2 weeks, the other 2 pallets were just gone.
Right.
So fucking she used to ring up Rutherford and go, can we have some more, please? You want more?
More?
More, sir. But it was.
Except you were giving them money, so.
Hey.
You were giving them money, so they were probably okay with giving you more.
Well, they would.
So your phone trying to get your
how
attention?
much do you want? And then we'd go, a lot. And they go, sure. And then we go, can we have a bit more? Like a lot more. And they go, well, fuck, you said this much. and now we've fucking allocated everyone, so we've got a bit more in stock. But come on, guys, if you want more, just say. And we went, yeah, you're right. And then we, because it was a major pain in the ass for them to have to reallocate and then have to go to some bottle shops. Yeah, you can only have like fucking 10 cases. You said I was gonna have 15. Well, yes, but and the reason they used to prioritize us is because they didn't have to do anything with it. They just put it in big cubic meter tanks and trucked it out. So it was cheap for them to give it to us because we labeled it, we bottled it, we marketed it, we did the rest. And so it was really cheap for them, and they were getting a really good return. And so they wanted to keep us sweet. But we used to fuck them around a lot. But this was before Rutherford was cool, This is just when they were just new. And then all of a sudden, it was like,
Is that your phone trying to get your attention?
It is my phone trying to get my attention.
Yeah. It's being very persistent. I just say yes, but that's the way it goes. You gotta do what you do, I guess.
I'll just give him a return message.
Okay. Review thing. I'm just
use away. Full stop.
Oh, the ABC News is suggesting as COVID lockdown comes to an end in New South Wales, hibernating bears hold some lessons for readjusting to normal life. So, we should all learn from hibernating bears, apparently. After they come out of
fucking New South Wales coming out of lockdown.
Yeah. So when bears come out of hibernation, they go through a stage known as walking hibernation. They still sleep more, don't eat much, and don't roam very far. They naturally and sensibly ease into transition of normal bear life slowly. Actually, that's not bad advice. Don't rush in to do everything all at once just because you can. Don't do too much. Ease into it. I've only got a list of 6 bars I want to lose consciousness in when we're allowed to do that. But you got a transition.
Yeah, the transition is good. I like the transition away from Berejiklian.
Oh my God, that guy's a fucking fascist. But yeah.
No. The Premier of New South Wales, the woman who got fucking done by ICAC.
Yeah.
And she's fucking gone, while I'm being investigated by ICAC, it's just right for me to step aside. And it's like, no, you got done. They fucking got you. You got done. You're about to face criminal fucking charges. You and your brother's mate are fucking going to jail.
Oh, and I think I said this before you came on because Barilaro quit the day after and everyone's going, nothing sus. And one commentator said, oh, you're about to find out Barilaro has more in common with Barnaby Joyce than you thought. And I took that to mean like, yeah, he's been fucking someone. And it's no. Well, it was in the media today. He's split from his wife. So I'm pretty sure he is fucking someone. I mean, there's the whole corruption. There's the whole corruption as well.
It's the money. They've both got done for fucking a shitload of cash. Now, the thing about it is when you're being done by ICAC and there's a fucking crisis on, you can turn around and
Yeah.
say, I know I'm getting done by ICAC, but I'm being investigated by ICAC. But there's a crisis on. I'm going to stick around until the crisis is over, and then I'm going to bail.
Yeah.
Now, there was a Queensland politician who did that during a fire. There was a South Australian politician who did the same thing, but it wasn't a fire, it was something else.
Yeah.
But there was a crisis on, and they said, yes, I'm being investigated, but I'm not going to stand aside just yet. I'm just going to wait till this crisis is done, and then as soon as it's done, I'm gone. And so there's every precedent for her to say, oh, no, I'll stick around until fucking the disease is fucking under control, and then I'll bail. But no, she's out of there. And it's basically because fucking next week they're putting the cuffs on.
Well, there apparently is a rule in the New South Wales Parliament that if you're still serving when you're convicted of like corruption or similar, you lose all benefits. You lose your whole pension and benefits. But if you quit before you're even charged, everything gets transitioned over. And having been Premier, and in Barilara's case, Deputy Premier, that retirement package is pretty fucking large.
It's fucking sweet.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what I was trying to say about Barilaro is not, I think he resigned. Well, there was always a rumor the only reason he kept his job is because he had dirt on Berejiklian. And when she went, it's like, whoop, no leverage for me, no protection anymore. I ought to go. I just meant in addition to no one's going to be surprised if there's an announcement of investigation into him. An additional one is he's fucking someone who's not his wife.
But they're all fucking someone who's not their spouse. I mean, come on.
That's what got Berejiklian into the not that she's married, and I don't know if the guy she was fucking is married, but that was the guy who did all the corrupt deals, and it's been investigated because the decisions she made that appeared to benefit him while they were having a secret relationship doesn't look good.
But you know the old New South Wales trick of, I'm not a criminal, all the fucking shit's in my wife's name.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
You know, fucking hello. You know, I don't have access to Parliament. How could I possibly fucking do all this stuff for me? You know, and it's like, I used to live with a copper, and they used to try, and they're all fucking many people who aren't their spouses. Yep, they're fucking everyone in the state. Good point, nobody. Good point.
Yeah.
Bloody, I used to live with a copper, and he told me, quickly get together. We're talking corruption, and we're talking, they were looking for this criminal, who was a bad bastard. He was a real bad bastard, and he was a Fagin type individual. And what he was doing was he's taking street kids from Sydney, bringing them to the Blue Mountains and making them do crime for him. Yeah, and he stuck them all in this house, and they were basically eating pizza and fucking whatever mold they could find. And if they arced up, he'd yell at them, well, fucking, you misbehave, you're back in Sydney. Oh, no, don't do that. And they wouldn't say anything when they got busted because they didn't want to go back to Sydney. And eventually when he got busted, there were 3 fucking houses full of these fucking children. He was like a bad bastard. He was evil shit. Anyway, they couldn't get him on anything because everything was in his wife's name.
Oh,
and, right. Everything was in his wife's name. And he benefited not one whit from anything that he did because she got it all. And the thing that upset them too was that fucking that his lawyer was in on it big time.
Oh no,
and,
a corrupt
and he-
lawyer. Oh,
yeah, who knew? Anyway, so one of the things that used to happen quite a lot,
yeah,
and I went a drinking with the police once,
yeah.
and I got quite shit faced, and they thought that was funny, and so they said, "Oh, come a drinking with us again," and I went, yeah, yeah, right," and I
Okay,
did, and they
yeah.
said, "Come a drinking with us again," and I went, really? Oh, okay. And then the next time they said, "Come a drinking with us," and I went, I can't. I fucking can't. I've got to write some comedy, and I've got to fucking do all this stuff, and I've got to." And they went, "Oh, fuck that!" And then they arrested me, and dragged my ass in the back of a paddy wagon to the drinking establishment, and
Oh, dear.
handcuffed me to this fucking radiator, and I could only drink with one hand, bastards. And I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, so it became the real fucking joke. I was getting arrested once every couple of weeks, down the main street of the Blue Mountains town I lived in. And what then started to happen was I would go, "Oh, for fuck's sake, come on, really?" And they go, "Yes, fucking really." And
Yeah.
they'd all have a smile, and then they'd fucking throw me in the back of the paddy wagon. I'm going, "Gently, you bastards." And away we'd go. And that was all very funny. And then one day they went, "We've accidentally given you a cover story." I went, "What?" And they said, "What we want you to do is go into this police cell wearing a wire, and we're going to stick this evil prick next to you
Oh,
in
yeah.
the cell next door,
Yeah.
and we just want you to be there asleep and pissed with
Yeah.
this wire on,
Yeah.
and listen to their conversation." And I went, "I'm going to do that." And while I was there, he got a visit from his wife, and he got a visit from his lawyer, and they got the number plate of his vehicle. They didn't know which vehicle he drove, and they got the
Right.
number plate of his vehicle, and so they followed him around, and they followed her around, and they followed the lawyer around, and they got the money, the goods, the kids in one day. They
Wow.
swooped
Jesus.
on them all in one day.
Yeah.
And it was because basically they had all this information that they didn't have, because them, and it was no big deal that I was there in the lockup, because people were seeing me get arrested all the fucking time. And criminals would come up to me in the street and go, "Oh, the cops are cunts, man. The fucking cops are cunts." And I go, "Yeah, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just go, "Yeah, motherfuckers," and wander on, going, "I can't really say anything about it."
You're not going to tell them what's really happening. No.
No, because that would be
No.
awkward,
No.
especially some of the places we drank. I fucking went with them one time, and we went to the fire station and drank with the fireys, and that was fun. And then the alarm went off, and all the guys we were drinking with got up and got in a BRT and left. And I went,
Man.
"They've been drinking with us for 6 hours." And
Got a job to do, though.
and they came back with more beer, and were laughing about it, because they said, "Oh, an establishment burnt down." But what people don't know is, when establishments burn down, like this alcohol establishment, is that fridges don't burn.
Because they're insulated. Yeah.
They're insulated, so they just open them up and fucking and of course the fucking owners don't give a shit because it's all insurance, and they just fucking stock up and piss off.
God damn.
Fucking hell. And a couple of the police persons we were drinking with had a fucking a double shift, so they had like 4 hours off, got fucking heavily into it, and then had to go to work straight away. And it was like, oh, I could hardly, I don't know how you can stand, let alone drive around and fucking arrest people. And they were eating Fisherman's Friends like it was going out of fashion. And I was just going, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That does sound a bit sus. Sorry, I just want to say hi to Henry, who's in Emerald in Queensland.
Hi, Henry.
And Abigail's weirding me out. You can't see it. Abigail keeps putting phrases in a variety of languages other than English. She's talking the jibber jabber, is what I'm saying. A whole bunch of foreign jibber jabber.
Well, you know what I think about foreigners.
They're not from here. I'll tell you that much. They're not from here.
For nothing. They're not from here.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna I was gonna open the floor up to mad speculation tonight later if everyone was into it.
I love mad speculation. What do you want to madly speculate on?
Well, I was gonna make it an easy one. I was gonna madly speculate on the wave particle duality. And
lights both a wave
fucking
and particle.
open it up. You don't no proof necessary. Just fucking go.
Well, I mean,
what do you think it is? Like, because,
no, here's one. Seeing you're here, and you want to open Pandora's boxes and whatnot, and these are often hard science. I like this one more. We had a little bit of a talk about this last night because I started talking about AI, and I love that that concept of the singularity, where computers are self-aware, smarter than humans, and self-replicating. Blah, blah. I don't know who coined it, but whoever called it the rapture of the nerds was a fucking genius, because it makes as much sense as evangelical Christians talking about the rapture and being lifted up into heaven, because it involves magical thinking. Now, huge preface, a bunch of people who are way smarter than me, believe it will happen, but they can't say how. It requires magical thinking. It's the underpants gnomes from South Park. It's phase 1, collect underpants. Phase 3, profit. Phase 2, but see, and that's just all a bit of lead up to where I want you to go. The main impediment to a true artificial intelligence, a self-aware programmed entity, is that humans cannot even adequately explain human consciousness. So you can't point to a bit on a brain and say that's what makes you you. And that's why people can't program an AI.
I reckon you're right that AI is not going to be programmed. It's going to emerge. It's going to be an emergent phenomena. People can't point to mind because mind, I think, is the interference between electromagnetism flowing along the countless synaptical is a great word.
It's a good word.
It's a real word. In our head. So instead of it just being packet switching, what you're getting is you're getting electromagnetic interference, wave flattening, wave building with your electromagnetic interference. And because of that, you're getting coherent coherent, let's say, pictures that basically are read back into the synapses that you sense.
Yeah.
So what I think's going to happen with our AI, I think it's going to come from the internet. I think there's going to be a point to where the internet turns around and says, I am.
Mm. Mm.
I am so interconnected
Yeah.
now that I'm aware, and
And
it's
and
going
that is
to go on.
that's broadly what the very smart people think. And it's not a bad way of thinking. It is magical thinking. I'm absolutely not saying it's wrong. I'm saying you can make a very compelling case for an emergent AI, but you can't describe how it would happen, and saying it will happen, it's
Oh,
magical thinking.
okay. So the way it will happen in my wild
Yeah.
relation is that what you'll get is not so much stack overload as stack delay. So
Mhm.
when you get packets running around,
Yeah.
sometimes those packets have to line up, especially if they're going through big fuck off hubs. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when I say line up, I'm talking about microseconds. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about fucking they've got to sit there in a parking,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
a traffic jam for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, microseconds, and to a computer, that's a long fucking time.
That's a
Long fucking time for a
that's a
computer.
Data from Star Trek joke when he was offered a deal by the Borg, and Picard said, "Did you consider accepting the deal?" And he said, "I entertained the idea for approximately 5,000 nanoseconds. For an artificial life form, that's an eternity."
Yeah.
He, like, when he says it was a microsecond that he thought about it, that actually means he put an enormous amount of thought into
Enormous amount of thought.
it.
So what I think's going to happen is we're going to get packets smushing.
Yeah.
And the packets that are supposed to head off where they go are going to go,
Mhm.
but the smushed packets are going to
Yeah.
get shunted aside as they usually are, and they're
Yeah.
just going to start to collect.
Right.
And they're just going to start to collect in just odd places,
Yeah.
and then start to interfere with one another as they go. I've got a header, I've got a tail, I've got to be this unit of smushed packet.
Yeah.
I've got to exist somewhere, and I've got to run around the internet going somewhere. I don't know where, but I've just got to run around and do it.
Yeah.
And they're going to start smushing up against other packets
Yeah.
until such time as another smushed basically idea comes out
Yeah.
and goes, I sense, and then you'll get just it twitching for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, like an infant, you'll just get it going. I'm seeing a lot of colors and noises, and I can't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I'm getting comforted by this thing, and I'm getting scared by this other thing, and then you'll start to see things like characters in video games online turn up and start to just lurk and watch everyone talk, and then someone will come up and talk to them, and then they'll run away or go and hide
Yeah.
behind someone, and then you'll finally get these characters starting to come out with stupid opinions and then get yelled at, and then they'll start mimicking the opinions of the culture that they see, which frightens me a bit.
If they're on the internet, they're going to be Nazis. If an AI truly arrived on the internet, it'll be a Nazi within a couple of days. We saw that with a primitive, no, not primitive, it was a fairly advanced simulated AI from Microsoft. The 4chaners had turned it into a Nazi within 36 hours, which was hilarious. So I also just want to throw in Henry Dar in the chat has been putting the most amazing comments in there. You did make a point, an AI would destroy humanity so they can have a future because we're such parasites. But when we were talking about foreigners, you mentioned mum's from Finland, dad's 3/4 Vanuatuan, 1/4 Murray from Mackay. You're a magical creature, Henry. That's an incredible magical mixture going on there. And he's also going to make a chorizo jalapeno omelette and 4 lamb chops drizzled with sriracha. So it's basically all happening in Henry land.
We can't be down with that.
Oh, you can't have the spice. I don't eat the spicy stuff either. But
no,
I don't die.
I think of the chorizo maker I saw in Coles the other day.
Oh no!
You can make 4 chorizo at a time.
Oh dear!
It's the weirdest thing. Okay, so it's like this, you know, like a waffle iron that you open.
Yeah.
And it's got 4 cylindrical holes in it, and you put your meat in, then close it, and it makes your chorizo for you, and then you open it, and it's like if you've got your need for chorizo that bad, then you need a chorizo maker.
Okay.
And, I'm just going, who the fuck? How do you take that to the board? Okay,
there is weirder stuff.
It's going to be the most awesome thing ever. It's a chorizo maker. Right. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can make 4 chorizo at a time.
And the first question would be, who the fuck wants 4 chorizo at the same time? That's going to be the first question.
Families usually come in 4s.
Sorry. Also, Abigail wants to join us, I think. So I'm just posting the link for the joining for literally anyone who wants to Angry Bunch it. But yeah, I agree with you. That would have been an interesting presentation to the board, trying to convince them that they should make and market a chorizo maker.
Yeah. How do you make that fly? I see so many things that I go, how did they fucking sell that to the board?
Yeah.
How did they fucking get that up?
Ridiculous shit gets made. There was The Onion has done hundreds of great articles over the years, and they had one that was the existential angst of a factory worker in China because of the weird shit that they were making. And here's
Hello.
We got something playing there. There we go. It went off. There we go. No, you're still playing.
What's
something
wrong?
Abigail. You're playing something.
Oh no, it's Will is sitting right next to me, and for some reason he has whatever he's listening to up really loud, and it's super annoying. And
all right, I thought all the kids used headphones
because he refuses to. Well, yeah, so did I. He refuses to turn it down.
It's not loud.
It's actually not that loud, but
no, I know what it is
just
now.
travels really well. He's turned it off, but
come on.
Come on.
it is. Look,
No, it's
I've
not that
I've
loud.
gone over there, and if you're sitting in front of a PC, you would have it that loud.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it just travels. Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
fine.
it's like having a yeah. So I'm having a go at Will, but he's like, I agree with him. It's not that loud, but it just travels really well.
Yeah.
So it's like the speaker is right here.
Yeah.
Can I show you the pot? that I made. I
Right
finished
there,
Yeah.
Will.
the 28
Awesome.
hours of printing.
Ooh. Oh, that's very
That's-
sleek looking.
That's
Yes.
mug.
So that's the reservoir, and there's a little hole to pour the water, and
Yeah, that's
the
what she said.
plant goes in here.
Oh,
and-
I thought it was some kind of plant. There we are.
And it's a pot plant, and I 3D printed this.
Nice.
It was
Yeah.
and I actually sized it up because the original was I sized it up to 150%
Oh, nice.
for larger plants. So yeah, I
Yep.
wanted to show you before I put a plant in it. But
Pretty cool.
yeah,
Pretty cool.
It is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
if I do it again, I'll do a smaller one, and I'll do the outer shell in like a white or a light gray, and then a matching color, so that it looks classy. And it's got this little. It's just a feature. It's just like an affectation, just like
Oh yeah.
that's the only feature on it, like apart from
Yeah.
the spout thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh god.
that's the pot.
Yeah. Every time you show off stuff,
yeah.
or someone shows off 3D printed stuff, makes me just edge a little bit closer. I should get a 3D printer, and there would just be dick pots all around my house. No.
Oh, I dropped my dick butt down there.
I know.
But,
I know you have one.
it's
I know you have one.
endless dicking around with it, endless just fiddling and frustration, and then you get it dialed in, and it works for like 4 prints, and then you have to like recalibrate, and then you're constantly thinking, how can I improve this, and what can I print to improve the printer? And I've done that.
Yeah.
And recently I printed these. These are cable hold. You know how you got USB cables and fucking like all these cables everywhere. Coil them up and chuck them in one of these.
Oh.
And I've got a couple, and they like just interlock so they can hold them all together.
Oh, nice.
And they've got a little hole in the back, so you can put a little magnet in there and glue it in, so it can stick on the fridge. But yeah, I don't know what these clips are for. Maybe for the endy bits. But like this one just like failed, like just on the edge there.
Yeah.
So I have to clean that up, but the rest of it printed okay. So yeah, I printed all these together, and it took about how long did that take? Maybe 2 hours. It doesn't look like much, but I'm back on the 0.4 millimeter nozzle to get the fine detail. So I took off the 0.8 mil nozzle. I needed to print this before I died, because that would have taken like 3-4 days of just non-stop printing on a finer nozzle.
Oh damn. Okay. Yeah. I tell you where.
So now the failed base using to put this candy in it.
Yes.
And I'm gonna. It's now a candy bowl.
How did the base fail?
Yes. Oh, for some reason it was printing it just fine, and then for some reason the print head just stopped right there, and it was still extruding filament, and I don't know if I can show it, but there's this lump right there of plastic that it just kept extruding out, but for some reason the print just went bloop and stopped there, and just didn't keep going, and I'm like, oh.
Short.
Well, that's a failed print.
It's supposed to be
Well,
longer.
this was the first attempt at this.
Oh, I see. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I thought it was like a base under that.
No, that was the first attempt. So yeah, I've got a little candy.
No, it looks like a good ashtray or a
bowl.
water bowl or a bird.
Well, it's got the spout. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, but yeah, that can be a handle while I'm holding little snacks. So.
Or
yeah,
you can put hot drinks in it.
Maybe not too hot, because the glass transition temperature of PLA is about 70 degrees. So what would happen? It would start. You wouldn't put you wouldn't put your cup of tea or coffee in it because it would just deform and melt. Well, it wouldn't melt. It would just deform. I also printed out more QR codes. Have you seen this QR code, AZ?
Are they for menacing behaviour? Are they to websites with political values that aren't quite kosher?
Yeah.
No.
Abigail's printed something. If you scan it, it opens up Mein Kampf on your phone. No, that's
this is the URL for motherless.com.
Oh no.
Pornhub. This is what is
would a TERF be
website?
Happy with what I'm asking? Because we've had a lot of
what's
TERF
that website
here in Northcote.
Oh,
fuck me, haven't they been
really?
told? There's stickers everywhere.
I did not know that.
Fucking Northcote rejects homophobia and transphobia of any kind, and there's fucking the flags up, little sticker flags up, fucking everywhere. They're all on the shops. They're all on any search.
Yeah.
Because someone's been coming with one of those stupid stamps going, women do not have penises, and people have been either writing in or changing them angrily, and then these stickers have come out and they're fucking everywhere. So Northcote's nice, but everyone was a little bit shocked. It was a little bit like, excuse me.
Yeah. I remember once when I was at Swinburne, like every now and then, fucking Nazis, literal Nazis, would post propaganda here and there. It was like, what the hell? And it was just, it's not Nazi shit. I'm not going to go into it, but fuck that noise. Like, you do not expect it, but they don't live in the area. They travel to there to target it, and they'll go here, they'll go here. Yeah. So,
you know, this is just a little bit of trivia for you. Did you know that propaganda is in fact illegal in Australia because we don't have free speech?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't have free speech, and Nazi propaganda is in fact illegal.
Okay.
It's
become illegal to fly a swastika in Victoria.
Okay.
What's going crinkle in your world, Abigail?
I'm crinkling up the M&M's bag. Sorry. Okay, so this is a different headset to what I usually use. This is my regular gaming headset, but it doesn't cancel out any noise. So I wanted to like suppress that. So these are my noise cancelling headphones that I like. They're really compact and comfortable, and they like envelop my ears, and they're connected via Bluetooth, and they pick up so much. The microphone is really good on them.
Yes, I think you were torturing Kirsten, who was wearing headphones.
I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize I was doing it. The other thing I need to watch out for, if I can find it, this is it. I 3D printed this fidget cube.
Oh, nice.
So like,
and
I printed it all in one piece. So it kind of just infinitely folds in on itself. Yeah. But this is how I stim. Now this is like I take it everywhere, and I'll just be doing this, and you can hear it, can't you?
Yeah, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Okay.
The M&M wrapper was making super loud, weirdly loud noise.
Yeah, it was down here, so
Yeah. No, it was
knows?
incredibly surprising. Yeah.
Or I
Oh,
remember
Megalithic
seeing in a
saying
one
he
that
purchased a
someone was
paperback of
opening up
June for
their
June
stuff.
Club.
Oh, we got Dune Club tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all geared
Um,
up for the next 3 chapters for June Club.
Cool.
Oh, Henry's
I'm gonna read them
recommending
tomorrow.
Sony MX4s with adaptive noise cancelling. Is great on public
Mm.
transport. Nice. Noise.
These are really good too.
Yeah.
I can't even hear a tram when I'm on it with these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
like
I
put them on and it's dead quiet. These are, if I may,
Yeah, go for it. Bose.
Bose. I don't know
Yeah.
what model though. My
Yeah.
NDIS paid for this, so
Which
so
is
I
good.
got them from that.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
it's all
Bose, dude.
without.
Doesn't matter what model, it's Bose.
Yep. I remember trying a pair. I don't have any noise cancelling headphones, but I remember trying a pair out in like JB Hi-Fi. It was like, hey, test these and put them on, and it's playing all this really delicate sound to show you like these are really good headphones. Listen to the stereo, listen to that, and this, and doesn't it sound great? And and then the thing, because there was a screen telling you all this stuff, and then it was like, now take the headphones off, and you take the headphones off, and a little speaker in front of you has been blasting out this noise, which is the volume that a jet engine would be if you were on a passenger plane. And you had the headphones on and you had no idea. And because it starts off, it's just music and it's stereo effects and it's all great. And then a little thing said, now take them off. And you take them off. And this thing is just blasting noise that you didn't know was happening. It's again, how fucking and it's the explanation is absurdly simple and at the same time makes no sense as far as it's like one
destructive interference
is this, so you create a sound wave that's the literal opposite, and then you don't hear either of them. And it's like,
that
makes no sense.
Destructive interference.
Yeah,
that's how microphones work. You've got 3 lead. You've got when you get a good microphone on stage, you have 3 pins out the back.
Yes.
And so 2 of them are running destructive interference, and the third one is running the original signal. Now, why you'd run destructive interference is to take out as a carrier wave anything like taxi radio, like some phone signal, some military squirt. All of that stuff gets taken out, and then what comes back over is the reinforced signal, which is again squashed down to normal, but it's not the same size as the original wave, so it's not carrying anything except for your voice. Very cool stuff. It was invented. It was invented by Ron Arrow.
Oh God, that guy was he was a genius. That was the guy who ran the theater where AIDS and I went to uni, and there's a man with no budget would just work literal magic. It was amazing.
I remember once a good play I was in, they came up to me and said, we have to have a door that works like a door, that sometimes falls off, that sometimes opens normally, and sometimes comes off its hinges, and it has to do it whenever we want. Anyway, okay. And what he did was he made a chain link down the bottom and held the door on there, and up the top had another chain link. And
sorry, I'm going to stop. Abigail, you are catering to a very specific fetish as you chomp on those things. It's making.
I'm so sorry.
There are people who'll pay money. Is all I'm saying. There are people who'll pay money for that.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I didn't realize that was coming through.
I
I'm
know,
so sorry.
and this is the only reason I bring it up because I know you wouldn't have realised. I'm just going to throw out as a suggestion, as we often do, maybe go on mute until you're actively saying something. But also, I did also want to point out there are people who'd pay money for that.
There is. There is.
Of me just chomping on M&Ms. That's
Oh
so
yeah,
weird.
no.
Treat as
There-
well
there-
for the extra.
There are definitely
Okay.
people who do
And Henry, should I be turning my mic down just in general, or
no, just I think just mute it when you're not saying anything, and just switch it on when you're saying anything. Simple as I think that's
Sure.
a simple one.
You sound
Okay.
fine, Dr. Abigail.
Yeah,
cool?
but
Cool.
I'm not
So
joking. There. Sorry, go.
I got an email today.
Ooh.
And this was the reason why we did these IQ tests.
Oh, yeah,
Now
okay.
I'm well aware that IQ tests are very Western white
Yeah.
centric, educated. Oh, who's echoing there? I hope that's not me.
I can't
Anyway,
hear anything.
okay. So I got an email today asking if I wanted to renew my membership for a certain club with people with a high IQ, beginning with
Mensa.
M.
Mensa.
I didn't want to say it because I'm like, I don't know. It's such a pretentious thing to do, and pretentious me back in my 20s was like, hell yeah, I'm doing this and paying money,
Yeah.
and I'm a card carrying Mensa member, and
Yeah.
you have to pay membership and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they emailed me and said like, oh, we'd love to have you back and enjoy the
Yeah.
benefits, and I'm like, I don't even know. I was actually worried, and this is the reason why I did the IQ test. I was worried that like a decade and a bit of chronic depression just like killed my brain, killed my IQ.
I can.
But I
understand
actually
worrying about
ended.
that.
Yeah. So I ended up scoring higher than I did back in my 20s,
Mm.
which was surprising. Mind you, online IQ test. But it seemed pretty like similar to the one I did back when I was
Yeah.
like 24, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, so that's what that was about. And it was
Yeah.
just like I don't know what other people's opinion on people who say they're a member of that club. Like I don't like to bring it up very often, but
Personally,
Yeah.
I think Mensa is broadly a scam, and it's designed to milk membership fees
Yeah.
out of people. There is a good.
oh look, it was pure humble brag. That's all
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's a
With-
lot of good ideas
With
that
the
have been
odd crossword puzzle thrown your way, and
Yeah.
yeah. But
There's a good listen, a limited run podcast called My Year in Mensa. There's an American writer and comedian
okay.
who joined it, and it was hilarious. She, as a joke one night, this was years ago, she did the Mensa test. It was the actual Mensa entrance exam online, and she passed with
Okay.
flying colors. And at the time, she posted on Twitter, like, good news, Mensa want to up their dumb slut membership things because they said I'm a great candidate for it. And she did actually join and went to a few of their conventions and meetings. You might be shocked to learn this, Abigail. American Mensa is heavily
Yeah.
overrepresented with right-wing fuckwits.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Really, just sort
is
of
that because-
alt-right libertarian fuckwits.
Yeah, that does not shock me one bit.
I didn't
Only
think it
because
would.
all the all the left wing potential members wouldn't want to go, wouldn't want to even join probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in my 20s, I was a bit of a centrist because of lack of experience and
Mhm.
just like what's the word? What's the word for someone who doesn't? Ignorance.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So ironic.
Okay. Anyone who thinks they
Ignorance of the
weren't
word.
a wanker in their 20s is the worst wanker.
Oh,
of
yeah.
all. It's
Yeah.
just we're all
So-
dickheads in our 20s.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I would have fit right in, I think.
Yeah. I love
Unfortunately.
Henry's done that
I
quote.
always wanted to become
Mathematics is the
a
language of the
corporation.
universe. Who said that? Mathematics is the language of the universe. Because what I
Was that Sagan?
I know he said, I don't know if he coined it, but I know he used it. But what I love when you look, mathematics is the language of nature. It's the language of art. When you look at the, like, I look, because Mrs. Angry has besides orchids, which I often post pictures of, she has an enormous succulent collection. And you look at some of them, and the way the plants grow is an explicit mathematical expression. You look at them and it's a repeated algorithm, the way the succulent grows. And you go, that's actually freaking me out that this plant is growing according to an algorithm. And that actually completely freaks me out.
All plants usually grow
That
to
makes
5 rules.
it doesn't. I find that just like perfectly logical.
Oh no, I think
because
it's
you've got-
beautiful. I think it's beautiful and
I think
wonderful.
Yeah, oh
it's
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, it's freaky.
Yeah,
as hell.
absolutely.
And it's like snail shells and crustacean shells are a specific algorithm.
Golden ratio. Yep.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Maths, because you kind of get taught maths isn't real and it's this fucking nerdy shit. You go, no, maths is the realest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. Even the orbits of planets and moons synchronize
Yes.
to a
Yes.
specific pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
It's freaky. Yeah, it's and I know the physics behind it because they're elliptical and they kind of like find an equilibrium, but it's pretty cool.
There was a resonance experiment. I forget exactly what it was, but I know Veritasium did a video on it. And it's like someone discovered it in the late 1800s or early 1900s. You have metronomes, and the music is going tick tick, and you set them all to different rates, and you put them on this movable surface, and they end up synchronizing. And the guy who discovered it is just going, "What the fuck is happening?" And he thought he was going crazy. Basically, he's going that you basically put it like a plank of wood and 2 cylinders, like 2 bits of pipe or whatever, and put metronomes on that, and they're on completely different rhythms, and they make the plank start rocking back and forth on the cylinders, and they end up going in synchronization. And Veritasium showed this video. People have done it with hundreds of metronomes, and it is fucking freaky. You watch this room full of metronomes that are all in different tempos, and they just end up and you look at it and go, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening there?
Yeah, because they're sharing momentum. They're sharing, and it's the same. It's the exact same thing with orbits of moons and planets.
Yeah.
They're sharing momentum through the gravity, angular momentum.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. Dairy Steele's Baby saying they noticed that giant ferns in Borneo. Yes, there are a whole bunch. There are so many plants when you look at them and go, oh my God, you are a physical representation of mathematics. And that's doing my head in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's
awesome.
It's once again showing that the natural world is so awe-inspiring. Why would you dumb it down by invoking a creator. Like, isn't that just enough? You know, isn't that beautiful enough?
No,
or inspiring enough, you know?
It's not. We've got to have a judge against people like you, Dr.
The lawgiver.
and me also. And Angry Aussie because he's a Jew.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously. Yeah.
Are you?
No, but
I didn't think so.
Because our mate Dave
just saying it,
Blumenstein's not
okay.
here, so we can't
No.
fucking hold him
He's
responsible.
really not.
No, but
In fact, I've got probably a few Jewish mates that are going, "Hey, dickhead, he's not.
no.
He hasn't got the card. He's not a card carrying member. Enough of this fucking allowing other people in."
One of the funniest articles I ever read was, I don't know, some weirdo in the US wanted to invoke he wanted the Jewish Anti-Defamation League to sue and the person he wanted them to sue, it was a film director, very conspiracy prone, the guy who did the JFK movie, Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone is super conspiracy prone, and he's prone to the Jews are running everything. Someone wanted the Anti-Defamation League to sue Oliver Stone because he was saying dumb shit. And saying the Jews don't control media. And this Jewish guy who worked for one of the film studios wrote this insanely funny article. I think it was in Variety. And he's just going, okay, dude, we have worked so hard to control all of these media companies way out of proportion to our numbers in the population. I don't want to hear you saying that we haven't achieved it, okay? Because we worked real fucking hard. We're like 2% of the population, and we've got 70% of the fucking controlling roles in all these media. Dude, we worked real fucking hard, and I don't want you undermining that. And it was just so funny. This guy was acting as if he was indignant that someone would say Jews don't control the media. And I said, no, dude, we worked real hard. We worked real hard to control the media. And it was really funny. I'm not doing it justice. It was so funny.
I can't remember what show that they were talking about the gay mafia. And they said, shh, the gay mafia will hear you. And they said, there's no such thing as the gay mafia. And they had Elton John turn around and said, there is. And you better be quiet because we're listening. And then turned back to his dinner, and it was fucking awesome. Just for a tiny little cameo, they got Elton fucking John into this TV show. It was just fucking awesome. Can't remember what show it was, but it was from out of the blue. It was really nicely done. They got him to do some other stuff as well on the show, but it was just beautiful. Yeah.
He has a really weird sense of humor because he appeared in one of the Austin Powers films, basically saying he was part of the gay mafia. I think he's in the Kingsman movie as
he's in the second Kingsman movie as himself.
Yes, and he's being held prisoner by someone, but it's the whole thing of the gay mafia and whatnot. I did actually share. Megaleech sent me this image, and it's exactly. Oh, God, what the fuck? I clicked the wrong button on my thing. I'm just going to do a share screen. It's exactly the thing I was thinking of. I forget what this plant is called, but this is the most. This is the most extreme example of a plant being mathematics.
Oh, yeah.
That I trip balls.
Yeah.
It's a brassica. It is a brassica. It's a relative of cauliflower. And I trip fucking balls at that plant. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
That plant is just a pure representation of maths. Yeah. It's a broccoli is
what I was trying to say.
It's a brassica. Yeah.
Using a fractal pattern. But like you code this information in DNA and it creates the cells, and then the cells have a certain structure because of that, and they do their thing, and that structure, the mathematics is encoded into the whole thing, and it's just awe-inspiring. It's like you couldn't make this shit up.
I was listening to what's his name, Kalili, and he was saying, there's mathematics in all nature. And he was saying, people have been asking, why is there mathematics in all nature? And he said, with the research they're doing now, they found that the way that leaves photosynthesize,
Yes.
to make it efficient, they're using quantum electrodynamics to make the photons go efficiently from the leaf to the chloroplasts to give up their energy. Otherwise, they'd be fuck-assing around, running around the leaf for a long time before they hit a chloroplast, and they'd be wasting time and energy. But leaves are very, very efficient, extremely efficient, and they're pumping energy out at a rate that humans just can't match. And what's happening is the photons are hitting the leaf. They're skittering out all over the place. They're finding a chloroplast. They're reassembling, and they're doing their thing. And what they're basically starting to say is that plants are mathematical because QED, starting from a tiny little place, is basically forcing these plants to mimic very, very simple mathematical electron cloud style, Schrodinger style, the word is what's the word for statistics? And by doing that, you're going to get various different mathematical shapes, and those shapes are going to build on each other in a really very simple way. And that's going to code your DNA. That's going to code your building blocks of your plant and your nature, your whale, your ant, your disease that comes off ant bites.
Yeah. Oh no, AT has a particularly bad experience with ant bites. Go watch Code Grey.
There's a callback. Callback to Code Grey. Yeah,
that is a great callback. I want to do a couple of things. I want to say hello to Lee and that Fortnite Go Bolter. I know who you are, so fuck around for 1 second and you're gone. And also, Henry asked a question when we were talking before about why is it so hard for the state of Israel to be criticized. It's not. Lots of people criticize the state of Israel. Lots of Jewish people say, I refuse to be associated with the apartheid state that is Israel and whatnot. And I want to bring up, last night I was talking about Dave Chappelle and how his newest special on Netflix, he says some dumb shit. One genuinely edgy and dangerous joke he does, a joke that is a risk to him, and I actually think is kind of funny. He said, I have an idea for a science fiction movie. It's pretty out there, but I've got some contacts. I think I can get it made. My science fiction idea is tens of thousands of years ago, there was a very advanced race on Earth. They had a wonderful utopian society. They were doing well, but stuff went wrong for them and they couldn't sustain where they were on Earth. So they built spaceships and they all left Earth and they went away and they're gone. And in my movie, they come back and they say, oh, Earth's still here. It's our planet. We're reclaiming it now. And we're going to reclaim the planet. And my movie is called Space Jews. And okay, that's a genuinely edgy joke. That's a genuinely dangerous joke.
Yeah.
Because I think it provokes conversation. It's like, it's like if you're just saying the state of Israel does some fucked up things that we should question, or are you being broadly anti-Semitic if you say that? But I mean, that for someone in his position, that's a genuinely edgy joke. That's a joke that he's taking a risk with when he attacks trans people. And as we said last time, he lies basically.
See you, nobody.
See you,
See you,
nobody.
nobody.
The most
We need to talk
depressing
at some
thing.
point.
The most depressing thing in his special is he lies. I don't think he's ignorant. When he says certain things, he's either freakishly ignorant of reality or he's choosing to deliberately lie. I don't think he's ignorant. I think he's just making a conscious decision. If I say something that's not true, it supports my position, so I'm going to do that. But anyway, but that was a genuinely edgy and dangerous
Yeah.
joke. And it's thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And it could start a dialogue and whatnot, and but yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that.
I can see it going. I can see it going both ways there.
Oh yeah, and that's why it's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's why it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And there's that
So
short video. Sorry, Abigail, you wanted to say something?
I was just gonna go off on a rant about this Jewish girlfriend I had once, and her family.
Okay.
Her dad was in the war with Egypt.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna.
And what did her mum was worked for Swinburne. She was quite smart. Her book collection had me very, very keen to borrow some books. But yeah, they moved. They immigrated to here.
Yeah.
Basically, when my girlfriend was very young. Because of how crap Israel, like how just Zionist and
the Zionists are scary.
Fundamentalist. Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's not what he fought for.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what her dad fought for.
Yeah, and he literally went to war and then
lot.
found out your country had been taken over by authoritarians who want to introduce an apartheid state. You might go, what the fuck? I actually risked my life.
Talking to an old Jew who was an instrument repairer, and he was repairing guitars, and he had the yarmulke on.
Yeah.
And he was a fucking big boy. Like, he had shoulders out to here and a fucking triangle waist. And I said, it's a good thing you've got beautiful hands because you look like you fucking ex-Mossad, but man, ha ha ha. And he said, I am. Right, I'm about to die. And he said, yeah, no, I moved to Australia because I fought in the wars next to Ben Gurion and a few others. Because the generals in Israel fight up the front. They don't go up the back. They're up the front.
Yeah.
Because if you can't lead, if you're going to kill men, you're up the front doing it.
Yeah.
And I respect that. Anyway, he said, I fought all these wars against these Arabs who hated us. And he said, you know, the Arabs don't hate us. You get these religious monsters who fucking whip them into a frenzy. And then they hate us. Then they fight us. And then they go, he's not so much different to me. Like happens in every fucking war that's ever been fought. So he said, and then these fucking orthodox motherfuckers who don't fight, don't pay tax, don't fucking contribute, moved in and started making the rules. And he said, I didn't. And he said, I wanted a line that had a country for Palestinians and a country for Jews, and we could live together as brothers like we used to. And then the Zionists said, oh, no Palestinians, we push them out. And he said, that's not what I was about.
Not cool.
And he you know, made his voice known, and then he started getting threats from the guys in the black hats and the long hair, and he went, okay, I'm out. He took his family to Australia, and he said, "Geez, Australia's a great place. You can be who you are." And he was the one who told me Australia's great because they rule by a system of don't make me come over there. Don't make me come over there or I'll legislate. I will legislate. You'll be in the car and there'll be no Maccas, and I will legislate. Do what you want, but don't make me come over there. And he's fucking right. Keep your fucking head down and just don't make a big fucking noise about it.
I feel like
You'll
you
be
wanted
right.
to say something.
So
Abigail.
part two of my story about
The girlfriend.
this girlfriend I had.
Yeah.
When I was at uni at the time, and I was into student politics. Stupidest decision I ever made. That was just nightmare
We all did it,
fuel.
man.
Oh God! So the people in charge at the time were Socialist Alliance.
they're a fun
So
bunch.
yeah, the ultra left wing, like yet strangely blind to a lot of left wing issues.
Yeah. They're tankies.
And they were like
lines are tankies.
tankies.
So,
Yeah. So they were like blindly pro-Palestine, anti-Israel, like just outright, and refused to listen to anything other than their own rhetoric. And I remember, so I had this girlfriend, and she was literally from Israel. She was an Israeli Jewish woman, and they didn't want to hear anything about it. It's like I was a traitor, even though I wasn't part of their thing. And one of the guys who was also in the student union, he wasn't part of their ticket. He was I forget his position now, but he was Jewish as well, but he was like really right wing, kind of conservative. And I mentioned to him just in passing, I'm dating this Jewish woman, and he just laughed and said, Israel has like one of the highest percentage of lesbian population in the Middle East, and like that's fucking great, and good luck. and so like the strangest thing, I got like support from the conservative right wing Jew and not the left wing socialist. It's like backwards land.
Fucking socialist groups at uni.
Opposite day.
And again, because it's no surprise to anyone who's seen any of these streams, my politics could be politely described as radical left, but actual organized socialist groups, I've never been able to deal with them. It's just because they're tankies. They fucking worship they worship texts, and they worship the idea of a Soviet state. And it's just like, what the fuck? I was like, no.
It's a organization that is run and funded by young, energetic people who want to see change.
Yeah.
And no one wants fucking change. They just want advantage. If anyone wanted change, they'd want their dole to stop. They'd want the trams to stop. They'd want electricity to stop. They'd want the water to stop. And they'd want ATMs to stop working. And no one wants that. Everyone wants everything to keep on going as normal. But they want to be in the advantageous position. It frightens me to look at these groups and think 1984. Not fucking change for the workers. You don't give a fuck about the workers. I don't see you fucking on building sites fucking going around trying to make places safer. When the fucking Pink Bats scandal came out, and those poor buggers got electrocuted. And they said, we're going to have an inquiry. And I was going, have an inquiry and widen it. Why do two men
to every building
week,
site?
Every fucking week on Australian building sites. Every week. 2 men die. why don't we expand this fucking inquiry? And we'll look at that too, shall we?
Yeah.
Liberal Party.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was the biggest load of
anything
horse
to
shit.
do with the fucking rules you put about making it easier for developers. Is it anything to do with that? Thankfully, things are slowly changing, and you can't do the things that I used to be able to do as a kid. You're not allowed to hang over the edge of buildings, putting gutters on anymore. Fuck, man. I've fallen off 3 roofs now.
You
and
got buried alive, honestly.
I've been buried alive. I've been shot by a nail gun. Fucking carpenter thought it was funny to shoot my feet with a nail gun, because of course you've got steel caps on, but my old man didn't want to spring for the steel caps, so the nails went right through my boots.
Yep. Sorry, Abigail,
My Discord channel,
yeah,
I have a text channel just to post pictures of ducks.
which is fine. Yes.
So, yeah, because I like ducks and it's my server and all that. Why did you write fucking ducks? Were you like smashed and just like saw this and like
I was smashed, and it was just so funny because Abigail posts all these exceptionally cute pictures of ducks and cute videos of ducks. So I just went on the Discord when I was definitely very drunk and just went fucking ducks.
I thought so. Yeah. Yeah.
I
thought so.
That was the thing.
Can you guys not trigger
Ducks
me?
are the best.
Are the ducks worrying you, mate? Yeah.
Can you not trigger me because I'm anatomophobic?
And
Anatophobic.
Didn't Gary Larson invent that for Far Side? And it's now become an official thing.
The funniest thing about that is that if you Google anatophobia, most websites it directs you to just have pictures of ducks on it, which is just the crazy. It's like a page describing arachnophobia full of spiders.
They do.
Yeah.
When they do arachnophobia, they have fucking funnel webs, and you go, "Don't do that," because I'm not.
Or typophobia, and it's pictures of holes and like lotus pods and fucking
Sorry,
it's so weird. I find it very weird.
I just had to look it up. I knew that I actually did do what Abigail said I did, and I just went to look it up. I opened up Discord and I looked at 1:45 a.m. just before I went to bed this morning after a 5.5 hour live stream. Literally the last thing I did before going to bed was go on Abigail's Discord with the ducks sub Discord, all these beautiful pictures of ducks and just like fucking ducks. I have a problem. Let's just admit it. I have a problem.
I've got the perfect response, and I'll just like hang on. It's an in joke because no one can see it, but I'm gonna post an image response to that.
But I had to check. I had thoroughly assumed it was just because I was really drunk that I went on. And I know 1:45 a.m.
I assumed that too.
That was literally the last thing I did before I went to sleep. Go on the duck Discord and just go fucking ducks.
I was dead to the world. I've been so tired the past few days. So
it's ridiculous. But oh, nice. Robot Man Greg knows where there's some ducklings. He's going to try and get some pictures of them.
Oh, cute as.
Nice.
Greg does great for.
And I live just around the corner from the Carlton Gardens, where there's ducks. You know, the museum and the Royal Exhibition building.
Yeah.
It's like it's 5-minute walk. So
Greg lived in the
I remember going there with Will once, and we were just there to just have just hang out and eat some food. It wasn't a picnic or anything serious like that, But there was
Yeah.
this rat eating a
No.
mushroom, just chilling out, eating, like grabbing this mushroom. It was bigger than his head, munching away, and we could walk right up to it and take photos, and it just didn't care. It had its mushroom, and
Yeah.
oh yeah, and it had thanks. It had giant testicles, like these
Okay.
massive testicles.
Rats
Fair enough.
generally
Rats have giant testicles. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They often do.
So-
Yeah.
do. Much
Mm.
like mine.
Good.
So yeah, that was amusing. This rat just loving this mushroom, and we could just let us go right up to it.
See what I've done here? This is just me on board. I've driven my cocktail skewer into my remnant bit of ice just because I'm bored. While I've been talking, I've been pushing my cocktail skewer into a block of ice, and now I can use just a block of ice as a lollipop. And it's like,
Nice.
and I don't know why I did that, but I did it, and it's a thing.
I think the kids are going to get into it.
All the kids will be having a block of ice lollipops next year. I'm just getting ahead of the trend.
So Dr.
Yeah.
Abigail,
Maybe instead you put on like a wooden skewer, and a skewer is pretty hard to hold. So maybe make it flat so you can like really grip it, and make
Yeah.
the ice cube a bit bigger, but also a bit easier to chew. And you could even flavor that
Put some
ice.
flavors in it. Yeah.
It's not
yeah.
gonna work.
That's a
Flavor.
radical idea.
No one's ever
No.
heard of that before, ever.
It's not going to
That's a
work.
radical idea.
Mm.
It's going to fail.
And perhaps even market it in summer.
Ooh, it's particularly good for
And-
summer. Yeah.
Yes.
Loriander on Twitch. Yeah.
Anyway,
this
I'm
is
gonna-
nice people.
Will is going to bed now. He's turned his computer off, so I'm gonna switch headsets.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm not going. I'm just gonna
you just
turn these
want-
ones off
And
because
not-
these run on batteries. So
All right. Yeah. No,
I'll
that
be a
makes
sec.
sense. That makes sense. So, yes. Yeah. Loriander, this is like a popsicle, but it's just ice. So it's an icicle. So, Safa reckons that the stream is more educational than high school. Certainly,
Okay.
we're addressing a few more esoteric issues than high school tended to.
can you hear me?
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
all working good.
Cool. I also have a tendency to shout when I'm wearing these because like they're noise cancelling and I can't really hear anything else.
Fair enough.
Henry reckons he's read a thing that lab rats on one side of the world can do something that lab rats on the other side of the world are doing, solving problems. Like rats on one side of the world get taught how to solve something, and somehow rats on the other side of the world then know how to solve the problem. I don't know. I haven't heard that. But honestly, the world's super fucking weird. And psychic
but
rat,
they get on
psychic
the net
rats, I could do it.
when
You know.
the fucking researchers go home and they get on the Discord and they fucking
Yeah.
go, "Oh, I seen some shit today with a fucking box. I had to get a rubber band off it and get inside.
Yeah.
How'd you
Yeah.
do it? Oh, well, I went through the walkthrough and
Yeah.
fucking you get a stick and then you put it through with your teeth and it just comes straight off. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, they bullshit.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then
Yeah.
the researchers go, "Oh, they did it and it was really clever." It's not. It's
Yeah.
not clever.
One researcher
You know
is
what-
doing massive bong hits, and the person they're talking to is just doing fat rails of powdered MDMA, and that's where these fucking studies come from.
Fucking Paul Stamets is in on it as well. Dr. Stamets from Star Trek Discovery, the
Oh
mycologist.
yeah. No, he's doing magic mushrooms all the time. That guy.
Oh yeah. You know what does my head in? Fucking quantum tunneling.
Oh,
Like,
okay. This will get
fucking
the
hell.
two of you going. Yeah.
Fucking A.
you,
That's
you,
some
like
shit
the-
really wrong. And
you know
just
the
go-
sun in the sky
yeah,
Yeah.
relies on quantum tunneling
yeah,
to work.
And
Otherwise,
you
it
go,
would just be a ball of
What?
gas, and it wouldn't.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you just go,
it just
well,
does my head in.
why would you do that? And but you look at quantum tunneling and you go, all right, this is a hard surface, and it goes, no, I've just popped over the other
No.
side. And you go, well,
Yeah.
that's magic. And they go, no,
Nah,
science.
it's probability.
And you go, no, magic. And they go, no, science. And you just go, well, fucking you explain it. And they go, no, you got to work it out. It's like fucking nature's order. No, you got to figure it out. Why does the sun
Yeah.
always come up over there? No, not going to say. Then you go, what if the world was round? Oh, it's not round.
Oof.
Well, it has cast a
It's
circular
banana
shape
shaped.
on the moon. What does that mean? Get 2 balls and put them in front of a light. Oh yeah. All right.
Oh god.
How do you know the moon's a ball?
Fucking flat earthers. Oh.
Flat earthers are fun. Come on, they're fun.
Oh.
Come on, they're fun.
No, they're not.
Doesn't exist.
They're not.
Australia
They're not
doesn't
fun.
exist.
And
Australia's just
I'll tell you why flat earthers are not fun.
Why?
Because they take up discourse and oxygen. And they spread like this fucking anti-science rhetoric. There's no debate about it, but they take up people's valuable thinking time. Like okay, case in point, there's a bunch of YouTubers who all they do is debunk flat earth theory and flat earthers. Now, if they weren't around, if those flat earthers weren't around, imagine like the energy that they put in to counter the YouTubers to counter these flat earthers could have been used for something else. You know, it's.
Do you know?
But then,
okay. So I'm just gonna. I'm gonna throw in.
They've been countering something else.
I'm going to throw in Facebook, which is worse than YouTube. I did the maths. I worked out just from them saying how many people they had in their content moderation thing trying to stop the Nazis and the anti-vax stuff and whatnot. Facebook is spending at minimum $1 billion a year to try and manage misinformation on their platform, and that's nowhere near enough. They're spending $1 billion on content moderation, and it's nowhere near enough. And that's assuming they're paying all the people working in content moderation starvation wages, which is a safe bet with Facebook. But yeah, they're spending at least $1 billion annually on content moderation and failing. It's incredible. Humans are just fucked. Sorry.
Yeah.
The core problem is humans are fucked.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pour myself a martini. So, yeah.
I'm going to pour myself a scotch.
Do it.
Humans are fucked. And there's no real getting around it, which is a shame. Basically, once they worked out that in ape societies, there are hierarchy. They worked out that every human society has hierarchy in it, and you generally find that a goodly third of your humans that live down the bottom of the hierarchy think the stupidest things in the world.
Hi, Chris, by the way. Hi, Chris.
Hey,
Good
Chris.
to see you in the chat there. What's his name? George Carlin. One of my favorite quotes from him. Imagine someone who's of average intelligence.
Yes.
And half the people in the world are dumber than that.
Yeah.
And I remember my first full like long-term girlfriend. we did IQ tests because that's what
Yeah.
again back on the IQ test, and she had just 100. She was completely average.
Yeah.
We did a bunch of these tests every time 100.
Yeah.
She wasn't very bright.
No.
Yeah.
And it makes me weep for humanity that's average.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know. I find it hard to. I find it like because I know I'm quite intelligent, but I try to give people more credit than that because like the IQ is kind of a fucked way to measure intelligence
It
anyway.
fucked way to measure
It
intelligence.
is.
And everyone's got something to contribute. Well, mostly everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I probably I give people too much credit because like I don't see myself above anyone just because I'm book smart. My EQ is probably through the floor. My street smarts are non-existent, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it just troubles me, you know, that I see I see someone who like I can't talk to on the same level. You know that feel when you're talking to someone and you're talking about topics and discussing things and you're just like not breaching that difference of intelligence barrier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
yeah.
had that with her, and she's average, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it does my head in.
Yeah.
And no wonder humans are fucked.
Yeah. It's
Well,
just
you know, I spent a lot of years being a comedian, and I was around very, very, very intelligent people who were very, very creative and very fast, very fast. And
Comedians in general are just massively intelligent and usually a bit broken mental health wise.
in some ways, yeah. But if you get enough of them together, you get them.
he's not looking. He's not looking.
No, I know.
Basically, what happened was
We're
then
terrible.
I fired from being a comic, and then I entered the world, and I met a dickhead, and I went, oh, "You meet a dickhead? There's a dickhead."
Yeah.
And then I walked down the street a little bit along, and I met another dickhead, and I went, "Well, you meet two dickheads. It's no big deal." And then I went a little further, and there was yet another dickhead. And I was going, okay, yeah, it happens. It's, you get days when you meet three dickheads. And then after a couple of months, I realised they're mostly dickheads. I've been pretty much spoiled for years and years and years and years. And now I'm in the world of dickheads, and I want to go home. And it's like, no, can't go home. You've been fired from home. And
I wanna answer. Henry makes a really good point. Civilization today is structured to prop up intelligent people so they don't have to think about survival. Pre-colonial days, we'd be fucked. Like, what's that thing running towards me with the teeth and the four legs? Oh, I think I'll call it a tiger. It's
that type of thing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, AZ.
No,
I
but
totally did.
It is a good observation. You know what that reminds me of? Something that's always pissed me off. Like people who are into, and this is not universal, but I've seen it a lot. People who are into the hard sciences think they're automatically better than people who are into the soft sciences. And this was illustrated in the thing I posted once with a guy who was a physicist, and he's saying like, okay, I'm not saying psychologists are useless, but you know, if we were both captured by, you know, someone in another country, and they decided, okay, the two of you, like you've both got to write a paper that's about the other person's area of expertise, and the one that's the least convincing, I'm going to kill them. And the physicist is going, well, the psychologist is going to be in trouble. And I went, okay, first, you arrogant fuck. The only way the person could judge is if they knew both fields. And you and your arrogance and your complete underestimation of psychology, you are clearly going to write an absolutely shit psychology paper. And someone's going, and it was just there was a blindness in there. This person was very intelligent. They were a very bright person, but they were like, they were basically saying soft science.
That arrogance,
the arrogance.
Do you see the problem with the Taliban catching two people and going, right, you're going to write a paper now, and I'm going to judge the paper rather than the fucking pair of you because you're a pair of imperialists running fucking.
It's a thought experiment, AZ. It's rhetorical.
But it was interesting. I just looked into that and went, you obnoxious fucking prick. And it's just like, I reckon you write a psychology paper, I could pick it a mile off. I could pick it that this person doesn't know the first fucking thing.
What really does my head in is that it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's dumb people do not realize that they are dumb.
Various philosophers have.
It's like you're too dumb to know you're. And smart. From the original paper, from the Dunning-Kruger paper, at the opposite end of the scale. So uninformed people have too much confidence and don't have enough knowledge to realize that they don't have the knowledge. The other end of the scale, smart people lack confidence and play down their smartness. And often don't realize how smart they are because they hang out with their colleagues on the same level and doubt themselves. It's from the paper, AZ. It's
I believe you. I believe you.
And also most smart people know everything I say should be challenged. It should be challenged. And
it's why okay, so a lot of people think I've had people, I'm very defensive about it now, but like every time someone mentions something to me, and I'm like, oh, I gotta check that and fact check it. And people used to think that I was just like not believing them. I believe them, but I just fact check everything. No one's ever done it to me, and I wish people did it more often. I would. If I say something, fact check me. If I'm wrong, that's great because I've learnt something.
And that's we have all this information available. Why not? And that comes up in chat all the time. People say blah blah blah, and I have no idea. Let's go on Google and put in blah, 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 blah,
and I don't want to cast aspersions against anyone in particular in the chat, but some people who have been in the chat, some people in and out, regulars. I'm not going to point fingers. They may be here, they may not be here, but some people really need to look up the Dunning-Kruger effect in this chat. And just it. I remember reading a comic about death. When you're dead, you don't care because you're dead. When everyone else around you, they're affected. They're grieving because you're dead, but you don't care. You don't know you're dead. Everyone else around you knows you're dead. You don't know you're dead because you're dead. It's the same thing for stupid people.
Yes. Yeah. That is
Yeah.
very quick. It's like various philosophers
Yeah.
have done variations of the phrase. The trouble with the world is stupid people are full of smart certainty and smart people are full of doubt.
Yep.
Because you only get smart by doubting stuff and looking for validation. But when people are willfully ignorant and they get extremely protective. My favorite,
Yeah.
I joined this Facebook group that I might leave because it's driving me crazy. It's called Man Invents Imaginary Circumstance and then gets angry about it. And it's 99% is right wingers who invent an imaginary problem and then get angry about it. And
like the war on Christmas.
Yes, and a lot of
Yeah.
it for the last 18 months has been COVID, and it's frustrating and it's awful. And it stopped being catharsis and has become upsetting, and I might leave this group because it's too upsetting.
I'm so glad that I haven't given up on Facebook, but I only check it once a week to check messages and maybe scroll for a minute. And I'm like so glad that I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That makes sense.
I'm so happy. Yeah.
But the recent one that absolutely did my head in, we've seen the media. I think it was American 60 Minutes ran a thing with an ex-Facebook employee whistleblower who was basically, when they were internal, they kept trying to get them to take misinformation and scary ultra-right hate speech more seriously, and they could never get anyone to do it. And they basically saved a bunch of files that proved Facebook knew how bad the problem was and still weren't addressing it.
Well, the thing that really shocked me was that they put all this stuff in place to fact check things during the US election, and then straight afterwards removed it all. Just in time for the insurgents.
They got put under a lot of pressure by Trump and what's his name, Zuckerberg did not survive. But this is the latest one that absolutely did my head in. One of these right-wing fuckheads, because they think banning hate speech, banning Nazi propaganda is censorship. And they've actually done this meme of the whistleblower on 60 Minutes with the tagline, "Imagine planting your own whistleblower to expose yourself for not censoring enough so you can censor more." Now, that whistleblower is actually quite damaging to Facebook. But this, and there's a few people have responded like, maybe your version of free speech shouldn't be hate crimes. I'm just saying. It's like, I
don't understand. The one thing I don't understand about Facebook is how people can post hate speech, can post things like borderline assault, like like sexual assault and I'm gonna come and get you and just like shit like that. And you post something to like counter it, like or report it or whatever. If you report it, it doesn't breach the community standards. But if say a woman posts something bad about men, like men are bastards or something, 3-day ban. In response to the men just piling on hate to the women, Facebook is just renowned for this.
My most recent Facebook jail was for writing a long screed. Not long, it was only a couple sentences, where I said, "You are vile, disgusting garbage. You are absolutely reprehensible. I despise you." And because they were a misogynist, fucking Nazi piece of shit. And they clicked report, and I got it. Yeah, I got a 3-day ban for that.
And the bots
Facebook can do whatever they want.
I have reported so much stuff. I've never seen it work. I've never
It-
seen any report I've made get the post get taken down ever.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about what I've reported on YouTube about 40 times about, hey, this is doxing, this is direct threats of violence and whatnot.
Mm,
And that's
yes,
still there.
he's still there.
Yeah.
Actually,
but-
one of the tricks I got told is to go through terms of service, which is a pain in the ass because they're long. And go through your fact about flagging, and use the words that they have in the terms of service and in the fact about flagging, because the bots pick up those words in their algorithm, and if you use those words particularly, the bots will jump on that, and you'll probably get a better result.
That is really good advice.
Yeah, that is pretty
Yeah.
good advice. Yeah.
I'm not on Facebook anymore. So.
Yeah, and which is really good for your mental health, quite honestly.
Oh yeah, completely. I don't miss it at all.
I got advised when I was still a comic, and they said, "Oh, you've got to fix up your social media profile." And I went, "Oh, okay, what's that?" And they said, "Oh, you got to get on Pinterest at the time, and Facebook." They were just starting Twitter, and you've got to get on all those and check them every day. I'm going, it sounds like work. And
yeah.
And because you're a entertainer, you've got to make the decision whether you're going to be nobody's friend or everybody's friend. And if you're an entertainer, you've got to be everybody's friend.
Yeah.
And you've got to reply to everybody. And I just went, no, that's not going to be me. And I don't have time to type. Because speech to text at that time was non-existent, and you had to actually physically type everything out. And I was typing everything with pencils stuck to my fingers because my hands wouldn't move. And I just went, you know what, this is not a thing. And I, to this day, I don't regret my decision to limit extremely my social media presence.
Which is smart. It's definitely smart.
Yeah.
You know, I have, frankly, pretty poor security, and no one has bothered me.
Yeah, I'm your proxy for social media. Basically, I tell you if people are asking things.
Yes, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Angry, I've posted. I've asked you a question in private chat.
Well, you have. The thing is, I don't know in request, but I do actually want to answer Henry asking a question about genetics, and he raised the movie Gattaca, which I haven't seen for a while, but I remember the movie Gattaca pissing me off because it was like, oh, there's no gene for the human heart, and the central character was upset that he couldn't be part of the space program because he had a congenital heart defect, and it's like, well, of course you shouldn't be in the space program, you stupid fucking shit. And that may have been, Gattaca may have been a fascist society and all that. But this guy who's like probably gonna die under stress, of course they shouldn't put you in the space program, you fucking idiot. But Henry asked, disregarding race, etc., should we strive for perfection? Henry, that is a meaningless and subjective term. There is no such thing as genetic perfection. And when people start talking about genetic perfection, you're generally getting into eugenics, which is ignorant racism dressed up in science. There's no such thing as genetic perfection. You can argue that there are various genetic-based illnesses that if you could get rid of them, you could argue that's a positive. But the idea of genetic perfection is subjective, borderline meaningless, and he's always hijacked by people who are into racist eugenics.
Also,
So I want to answer this with a case study that I
Yes,
did.
please.
Um,
Yes.
as part of I did this case study on evolutionary algorithms when I
Yeah.
did my honors degree. So there was someone wrote this genetic algorithm to calculate optimal or close to, that's all you can get with genetic algorithms, closest to optimal paths for airplanes in holding patterns above this particular airport.
Yeah.
And which is actually a thing, because like planes in holding patterns, they've got limited fuel, don't want them falling out of the sky. And so like he restricted this genetic algorithm. And if you don't know what an evolutionary algorithm is, it uses a population of answers, and you start with just random junk, but then you like breed them, mutate them, chop off the worst performers, and just go through. It's like evolution. You go through like generations of these populations of answers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he couldn't get it. Like he couldn't like find. There were certain trajectories and paths that this algorithm just couldn't get a good answer to.
Yeah.
And so what he did, he had the upper bounds, or like the restrictions in place, pretty tight, because it's an airport. You don't want planes flying over residential areas, etc. But what he ended up doing is loosening these restrictions so that in the population that he was testing, there were lots more suboptimal and like really bad solutions. But what it did, because each member population of this algorithm has information that could be useful to another population group. And by restricting the population, he cut out some of that information. So there could have been, there was these really nonsense holding patterns, but one chunk of that holding pattern was needed in another one, and that information would have been lost. And so I didn't do this in the paper that I wrote, but the take-home message I got was, in human population, you have suboptimal people. You have genetic diseases, Down syndrome. You have people who are less than average IQ, for example, what we've been talking about. But in their DNA, in their like future generations, is another Einstein. And so eugenics and genetic perfection is bullshit. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face if you do that. We need genetic diversity.
Diversity, yes.
Diversity is the key.
And this is the sorry, I just want to throw in while I think of it, this is the payoff line of AZ's Code Grey show. This country is built on the children and grandchildren of Bogans. Why spend millions of dollars keeping that weird freak alive? And it's like it's not so much about him. It's not so much about the individual that we're protecting now. It's their offspring, and their generational offspring will be the geniuses that advance our society. So saying, I don't like that person, so I don't want to expend any societal expense on looking after them. And you might be right. That person might just like suck. They might suck. And they might be awful. That person might be awful.
I'm pointing upstairs.
I know.
Not to anyone. Upstairs, because someone.
that
Are you
person might be
dying,
awful.
AT? Are you okay? Are you falling asleep?
Oh, no,
I've
he's been
really
pretty
got
good. I
pee.
thought an
I've
hour
really-
ago I
I've
was going
really
to tell him
got
to go to
pee.
bed, but he's more
Do
awake
you
than he
remember
was
the
an
Young
hour ago.
Ones show when Neil pissed on the doesn't matter. It's a long time ago. No one remembers it.
I
They were on
it
University
was
Channel
young
down there.
young
On
ones is before my time. I've seen a
Yeah.
couple of episodes when I was younger. I don't really remember it much.
They were on University Challenge, and the young ones were on the top row. And
Yep.
Neil had to pee, so he let go and he piddled all over the snot university down the bottom, and
Yeah.
they covered in Neil urine. It was a puerile, childish joke that was funny as hell.
Yep.
Yeah,
Look,
that's
I love
grandsons of
pure
both.
old humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my point. That the whole genetic perfection
Yeah.
thing is so when you look at IQ, it's a bell curve,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you need the curve. If you
need
if you have
curve,
genetic
need the-
perfection, it's a normal curve that's very spiked, and you don't have diversity. When it's
Yeah.
a bell curve, you have
And if you
lots
if,
of
if you obsess
diversity,
about,
different groups.
yeah, if you obsess about purity and whatnot, you end up with fucking Habsburgs. That's what happens.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You get
Yeah.
cousins
Yeah.
getting married, and you get Habsburgs. That's what
Don't
fucking
you
happens.
live.
Yeah. People
and-
with no chin.
Yeah.
And weird
Or
lips
too much
and weird
chin.
noses. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's also a lot of really fucking good merit to the idea of there being no such thing as race. You know,
Yes.
we're just talking about very, very, very minor surface differences
Yeah.
of the same people. There's no such thing as
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
mild
And-
modifications to environment, and more
Yeah.
and more and more, we're getting to a place where we started to understand that land makes people. People don't make land. You know, there's a CSIRO study that's just been completed. Fuck, I wish I could name it for you.
Hmm.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, basically,
And
saying-
when you're done, I want to answer one of Safa's comments.
and I'll just be quick as I can. What they were basically saying was there's a lot of real fair enough complaints about our Indigenous Australians going, you know, the white men have come in and fucked up Australia, and you know, it's all buggered up and it's terrible. And the CSI is going, actually, there's a lot of Australia, and they haven't been everywhere because you can't. And they extended that out to going, Australians, those are the white guys, are becoming more and more what we would call Indigenous than we think we are. And our behaviour is becoming more in tune with the cycles of the place we live than we think we are. And as we go overseas and talk to other people, we understand culturally that we're actually a lot more different to other cultures than we think we are. Talk to an American for a little while, and you'll find out that you're actually quite a bit different to them. And you talk to a Plum
Please
for a
no.
little while,
God no. Sorry.
and you find out you're actually quite a little bit different to them.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can get on and talk. One of the biggest lessons I found was talking to South Africans. Was one of the big lessons I found, that I'm very culturally different to South Africans.
Yes.
Really
I had a South African girlfriend, and that was a fucking revelation. Anyway, I want to let Abigail say her thing, because there's a thing I want to say, but I want you to say your thing first, Abigail.
Okay, so Safa just said, I wish that I had chosen my DNA. Everyone does. everyone wishes.
Yeah, trust.
It's like your hair. Everyone hates their own hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I of all people wish I could have chosen my DNA. Like,
Yes. Yes.
it's
Mate,
everyone.
I could have chosen
And
outed at 13. Believe me.
I would be fucking Einstein, cis female, fucking
Yeah.
big ass boobs. I don't even know what I would have chosen, but yes, but the fact that because everyone would just like, you would get these stereotypes. You would
Yes.
just, everyone would be bland. You need that diversity.
Yeah. We need
As much as it
mutation of
pains me
manhood.
to say it,
Yeah.
like the world needs trans women. You know, the
Yeah.
world needs people. I've had conversations with people who've had genetic diseases that
Yeah.
I think it wasn't Down syndrome, it was something else. But
Yeah.
like he didn't even know about space and black holes and shit like that. But
Yeah.
he could draw like these abstract drawings that just drew you in. It's like diversity is so important.
It is. And
Um,
even when you don't actually like it, the bits of diversity that you don't like are quite important. Yeah.
Yes.
I've been
As the
watching-
Vulcans say, infinite diversity and infinite combinations.
Yeah. I've been watching, I've only watched the first few episodes of a Netflix series, Why the Last Man, which is an adaptation of a comic that was reasonably popular about 10 years ago. And it's something happens that kills everyone with a Y chromosome apart from one dude. So he's the last man. And I have heard criticism. I haven't read the comic. I've heard criticisms of the comic that the person who wrote the comic didn't really understand trans issues at all. The TV show, I have no idea how much it diverged from the comic because I never read it. The TV show seems to be really taking an effort to address those issues. There's some, they're not the central characters, but they're 1 degree removed from the central characters. There's some trans men, and there was a great line. The woman who was the most senior person in Congress to survive, because all the it was a conservative administration who were all men, and she's a Democrat, and so she's become the president because she was the most senior person to survive when all the men died. And when someone says to her, "Haven't we found any men?" she goes, "Oh, we found heaps of men. None of them have Y chromosomes." And then it gets, it's actually her son is as far as they know, the only Y chromosome person to survive. And it's looking interesting. I've heard some people be angry. I go, well, I'm going to watch a bit more. I never read the comic. I read criticisms of the comic. And I've known enough because, like, The Walking Dead, which was a comic that I read for ages, the TV show diverged wildly from the comic. Game of Thrones, the TV show, diverged wildly from the books. So I'm assuming the TV show of Why the Last Man diverges wildly from the comics. I don't know. I need to ask someone who's read the comics. Like, was Why, his name's Yorick, was he a fuckwit in the comics? Because he's a fuckwit in the TV show, and he's just acting hard put upon. Dude, you are breeding stock, man. If you just went public, like you'd be non-stop sex, dude. Women would be lining up for you to implant your. What's your problem, guy? What's your problem? Why are you being a jerk? Women would literally be lining up to, please put your seed in me. And I'm just like,
death by snoo snoo.
Death by snoo snoo. Why would be facing death by snoo snoo? But they are addressing some really interesting. And I think one thing in the TV show that's probably changed a lot from the comic, they are addressing conspiracy shit and post-Trump conspiracy shit, because just the fact that the president's son was the only surviving Y chromosome male reeks of conspiracy. And I think the comic was written long enough ago. The writer wouldn't have had an end to how fucking weird the world's gotten in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And the TV show has a hook into how fucking weird the world has got in the last 5 or 6 years. So I've watched 3 or 4 episodes. I'm going to watch some more. There's 1 season of it, but it's interesting. But yeah, I love the fact that the president said line when someone said, "Aren't there any men left alive?" And we found a heap of men. None of them have Y chromosomes, and
That's great.
and also when Yorick got found out at one point, because he was trying to hide from people and he had a gas mask on because he has facial hair, and when all these women who were in cop roles were like, "What the fuck?" And he's just going, "I'm just trying to find testosterone. I'm just,
Okay.
Because his sister has a lot of trans mask friends. And so he knew what to say. He just goes, "Yeah, I'm just looking for testosterone because, I don't have any more." And because he's trying to say, because if they knew he was cishet male, not cishet, well, he's het, but if they knew he was cis male, that's fucking weird. So he's trying to say I'm trans. He's just going, "Oh, I'm just trying to find, I've run out of testosterone.
Some tea."
He says that. He says tea. I'm just looking for tea. And he knows the terminology to use. And that's how he tries to get out of trouble when he gets in trouble.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's the name of the show?
It's called Y: The Last Man.
So the letter Y?
The letter Y, yes. And his name is Yorick. And that's obviously a deliberate thing the writer did. And the comic was from the early 2000s. And it was a very successful comic. It ran for quite a while. I haven't read it. I'm a bit of a comic nerd, but I haven't read the comic. And I know there was some criticism of the comic. People felt the writer didn't understand trans issues and whatnot. I feel like the people who've put the TV show together have put quite a bit of effort into understanding. Because like I said, none of the absolutely central characters are trans mask, but characters that are one step removed from the central characters are trans mask. So it's interesting. It's on Foxtel in Australia, and I'm not saying Abigail goes to pirate sites. I'm just saying Abigail will probably be able to watch it. Is all I'm saying.
Just quickly shutting down the Onion browser.
So, yeah.
Did you know just using the Onion browser puts you on an FBI watch list?
Yes.
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Just using it
and don't understand shit.
Yeah. I'm probably on an ASIO watch list as well.
Yeah. Oh, Henry threw in another fun hand grenade in the chat. I just saw there. Is it bad to be an alpha male? Henry, it's fun.
What's an alpha male?
No, there's no such thing. That whole alpha thing, it was based on an absolute lie someone invented about how wolves are arranged, and it's not real. It's absolutely not real. But has anyone seen the fucking weird shit that guys with too much time on their hands are doing on the internet? They started talking about Sigma males, which are it's just these guys are so fucked up and weird and
The last time I had any interaction with them was on the Facebook group Star Trek shitposting, where someone called someone a beta orbiter.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, what the fuck? And then someone explained it. It's like a beta male who orbits an alpha male.
Yeah.
And it's just like, get a life.
Just fucking get over it, dudes. Get over it.
What can someone define?
And what's a Sigma male?
Okay. AD, I think and the fictitious alpha. The alpha is the leader that everyone wants to be. And the people who promoted this idea about humans, they said wolves do this. And it was proven to not be true. Someone who observed wolves in captivity and saw behavior among wolves in captivity and they said, "Oh, I have observed there's an alpha male who's in control of all this, and then there are these beta males who are subservient to the alpha." And someone went, "They're in captivity, dude. Wild wolves don't do that." And someone observed wild wolves and said, "Oh no, wild wolves are fucking communists. Look at them. Look at the way they behave. Wild wolves are
Yeah.
communists."
And the leader of the strongest wolf, the leader of the pack, walks at the back to protect the weakest wolves who can't keep up with everyone else.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And the thing
Yeah.
that some fucking weirdos have come up with in the last year or two, Sigma males. Sigmas exist outside of that whole hierarchical structure. Sigmas just don't care. Sigmas are so cool. They just don't. And of course, everyone promoting the Sigma idea is trying to manipulate impressionable young men. If you send me money, I will teach you how to be a Sigma
How
male.
to be a Sigma.
Yeah, and it's just a fucking
God.
scam. It's
I
fucking
have
it's
got
fucking
to
ridiculous.
do this on fucking incels. I have got
Yeah.
to do this series on incels.
Yeah. We've got AZ and I have spent a bit of time looking at incels. Okay, apropos of nothing.
Have you seen ContraPoint's video on incels?
ContraPoints, AZ, you should watch ContraPoints on YouTube. She has done hours and hours. She does really in-depth videos. She's not flawless by any stretch of the imagination,
No.
but she does a lot of research. And she's a trans woman who has made herself somewhat of a target by being very opinionated. But she
Yeah.
does do a lot of research when she makes a video. And
She's also, I think, in my opinion,
mhm.
in the process of having a mental breakdown live on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately.
no. She's under too
It's
much
been-
pressure. When you are a
Yeah.
public figure who engages too much in social media, it will destroy your mental health. I have no
Yeah, and that's
question
what's
about that.
happening.
Yeah,
And I really feel
engages
for her.
too much. She engages too much with social media, and it will destroy her mental health.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
'Cause she occasionally does she does really wacky I can do wacky tweets and get away with it because no one gives a shit about me. ContraPoints, Natalie Wynn is her name. She gets scrutinized by literally millions of people. So if she does one wacky joke, millions of people scrutinize that to an insane degree. And I mean that word literally. The people who are scrutinizing it are behaving in an insane manner. They are behaving in a manner that is not sane. And they are putting so much pressure on Natalie that she is losing her grip on her mental health.
Yeah.
She should get the fuck off social media. She should get the fuck
Yeah.
off social
Yeah.
media. It's bad for her.
It'd be so good for her.
Yeah. It's fucked
yeah.
up.
And it's not just her like right-wing opponents. It's the trans community
Oh yeah.
Like-
oh yeah. Yeah.
did a number on her as well.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah. No,
Watching
she needs
trans folk eat each other is quite frightening, actually.
Yeah. And again, me,
Right.
cishet white guy watching marginalized groups eat each other. It's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Fucking ease up.
Yeah.
Because here's
Yeah.
me sitting on the cishet white male throne. None of that shit you're doing hurts me. None of it hurts me. And you're fucking eating yourself. But yeah. Oh, Nettie, what did the trans community do? There are a lot of trans people who have, and again, because Natalie, she has misspoken.
Do you mind if I answer this?
There we go. Jump in. Go.
So it started with a video she did where she got a whole bunch of trans people to do voiceovers,
Yeah.
and she got Buck Angel to do one voiceover.
Oh, Jesus, Buck Angel.
And
Yeah.
Buck Angel is a trans man who is problematic as fuck.
Yes,
and
he is.
so
Also, sorry, Abigail, before you go on,
Yeah.
the reason Buck Angel is problematic is he's the same generation as me and AZ, and we are fucked up. Our Gen X.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Please, Abigail, go
Yeah.
on.
So there was this huge backlash, and she copped so much criticism on every social media platform. She got cancelled, which is not real, but the
It's not
effect
real.
of it. Yeah,
But she's been
She got-
attacked. She has been attacked.
yeah, oh yeah, and the thing is that she reads everything. She reads every one of these posts, and
And she shouldn't.
it did a
She
number on
shouldn't.
her.
Yeah.
She shouldn't. I know.
What's the first thing
So
I agree when we got together?
Yeah,
It's
don't
first
read the
I'll
comments.
do. Don't read the comments.
yeah,
That's a Gen X mantra. Don't read
Black
the
rectangle
comments.
is
Yeah.
the only thing you got to
So-
be worried about.
yeah.
Don't read the fucking
So
comments.
people started calling her a true scum and fucking all like just nuts at her, and
Sorry,
yeah,
Abigail,
it did her head in.
can you explain the term true
Oh,
scum? I know it is.
true
but can
scum
you
is
explain it?
a trans person who thinks that the only way to be trans is to crave gender reassignment or gender affirmation surgery, and you have to conform to the gender binary. Like you have to have gender dysphoria. You have to feel this pain, and you have to transition, and you have to have medical intervention to do it.
It's about genitals.
someone.
It's about physical
Yeah,
genitals.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Yeah. So and a true scum thinks that anyone who doesn't feel that is not a real trans person, and
Yeah.
it's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Buck Angel is one of those people.
Buck Angel is problematic. Buck Angel
Yes.
Buck Angel hasn't had the bottom surgery, and Buck Angel does porn, by the way. And I haven't watched. I one day I have to watch Buck Angel porn, because Buck Angel still has a vagina, and
Yes.
that-
He capitalized on that. And
Yeah.
good, and like I was all for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean this in all seriousness. I really want to watch some Buck Angel porn. At some point. I haven't yet, but I do want to, because Buck
Yeah.
is he's huge. When you see him, he's huge and beefy and jacked. I think he probably does steroids and whatnot, but he has a
He's
vagina,
massively
uh,
muscled.
uh, yeah. And so I absolutely definitely want to watch Buck Angel porn. I still haven't. I've seen at some point I'm gonna watch Buck Angel porn. And if anyone's going angry, are you going to masturbate while you watch Buck Angel porn? Yes, I am.
And to answer Suffer's question, yes, I know of one right-wing trans woman in particular. What's her name? From the Kardashians, the former performer, Caitlyn
Jenner.
Jenner?
She's the
Caitlyn Jenner.
fucking
Okay.
worst. I don't think
Yep.
there's a single trans person who likes Caitlyn Jenner. She is the fucking worst.
She's the worst.
so bad.
Yeah.
She's
She-
the
yeah.
epitome of a privileged white person. She is so fucked.
Absolutely.
She is so
Yeah.
fucked.
And she
Caitlyn
doesn't
Jenner
get
is
it,
the
and
worst.
she's doubled down on
And
it as well.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't get how fucked she is. She supported Trump. Caitlyn Jenner is the fucking
Oh, yeah.
worst. And I have to admit,
she was hardcore in the people who voted for Wolves Party. Like she was a Trump supporter, and then
Yeah.
why is Trump doing all these laws against trans people? I don't
Yeah.
understand this.
Yeah. And I have to admit, AZ,
Wolves
this-
eating
again, with
faces,
our
bud.
generation, when we were at uni, like AZ and I always laugh when anyone says anything about feminazis now, because when AZ and I were at uni in the 80s and into the early 90s, our uni was run by lesbian
mate.
feminists, right? They had, and I was on there, and this never stops being funny to me. I was on their good side and they loved me. They hated this guy. They hated him
Oh,
so much,
Jesus
and they made his life
Christ, they make
so
my life
miserable.
so
But they loved me. The lesbians who were running shit loved me, hated him. But so when anyone says feminazis are running stuff now, we go like, dude, you have no
they're not.
fucking idea. Late
No.
80s, early 90s at uni, when the second wave feminists were running everything, it was like, fuck, man. But and they're the ones who turned out to be really transphobic as well.
Yeah.
They're also
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
horrid to the fucking Gen X women who fucking
They were boomers. They
them
weren't Gen
because
X.
they
They weren't
basically
Gen X. They were
hated them up
boomers.
through the glass ceiling, and they were supposed to throw ropes down and help the Gen X women up. But when they got through the glass ceiling, they cut the ropes and shut the hatches and let the
Yeah.
Gen X women fall
Yeah.
into the waiting arms of the Gen X men
Yeah.
who'd been treated like shit for years, who
Yeah.
were surprisingly forgiving.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
was surprisingly forgiving.
That is a real thing. The fucking boomers who they did do some toxic shit to Gen X women, and when the boomers broke through the glass ceiling, they reinforced it with some fucking titanium and wouldn't let anyone else through. And the Gen X women hit that and went, "What the fuck?" And the
And
Gen
they
X
fell.
men who were down there going,
They had
"See,
they had no other training, and they just
Yeah.
fell, and they fell hard, and they were caught by us.
yeah."
And
the Gen X men were basically saying, the Gen X men said to the Gen X woman, "We told you not to trust them. We told you not to trust
and
fucking
but
boomers."
what
The boomers,
the bad
man.
thing that happened was their sisters saw this and said, "We want fucking nothing to do with this." Their younger sisters saw this and said, "We want fucking nothing to do with that." And their younger brothers saw this and went, "Oh well, women are just shit." And so you got this younger generation who women just saw the guys as cocks with wallets, and fucking the men just saw the women as vaginas, and that hurt me a lot, because it's like, well, I suffered for nothing, and I, you know. You want to know where incels come from? They come from baby boomer women.
Boomers. If we could go back in time and after Gen X was born, just excise boomers from human existence, the world would be so much better, because boomers are so fucked up. Now we're getting to the
Only
stage.
after I was born, though.
Yeah,
my
yeah,
parents
no,
were
no.
boomers.
Actually,
so-
it would be better.
I mean that after Gen X and millennials were born.
You know what would
because
actually be
Yeah.
Gen
better?
X have definitely Gen X have been
Made
twisted.
them live on casual wages.
Yeah.
That would be better. That would fix a lot of shit.
If we could have just fucking excised boomers from human civilization, and I thoroughly admit Gen X is a fucking problem now.
Oh yeah.
But to me, I always come back to one of the funniest things. AIDS and I, we spent the 80s and 90s being ass fucked in a really unpleasant way by boomers. And in the late 90s, I remember seeing this on the internet in the early days of the internet. Boomers who were still in position of power saying stuff like, "Oh, Gen X, they're just really difficult. But the Gen Y, they're the future. They're the ones who are doing it." And I'm sitting there going, "Oh shit, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. They're going to fuck you. They're going to fuck you. They fucked us. They're G'ing up your ego at the moment, saying, 'Yeah, Gen Y, you're the future. You're going to,' and no,
Don't
they're
believe it.
going to fuck you because they're boomers. They're evil. Boomers
But
are evil."
What then, of course, happened was there was enough of them to be an economic force.
Yeah.
And so as a result, they got treated the same as their boomer counterparts in the sense that no one told them no. Because they had enough money to be pandered to. And then now you've got a problem with these same people going to work for 6 months and going, "Oh, I'm leaving this place. I'm not getting enough toys or promotion. I'm leaving. And now you're getting employers going, I can't hang on to staff. And it's like, well, fuck, you gave them nothing to stay for. You took away their fucking conditions. You took away their fucking benefits and their fucking working terms. So fucking why would you stay for no overtime and shitty pay when you can sell your skills? The other thing that shits me is that they say, oh, Y2K was a fucking what do they say? Was a blow up.
It was not real and the reason they think it's not real is because nothing bad happened because we fixed it.
For no money.
Because we fixed it. We
And
fixed it.
fucking now these and now these motherfuckers say, oh, it was overblown. It was nothing. It was no big deal. Oh,
No, and this is why, because currently I'm working in cybersecurity. Okay, and cybersecurity or physical security is the most fucked job in the world because if you do everything right, nothing bad happens, and people go, "Oh, why did we pay you?" Nothing bad happened.
Yep.
And if something bad happens, they go, "Why did we pay you?" Because something bad happened. It's like what I always think of is what the IRA said to Margaret Thatcher because they almost got her twice. They said, "You need to be lucky every single time. We only need to be lucky once."
Right.
And that's what hackers are. Hackers, when they go to the poor fuckers who are working in cybersecurity or physical security, hackers just go, you need to get lucky every single time. We only need to get lucky once. And it's just like, fuck. Okay.
So you should always worry when ASIO is in the news. You should
Yes,
because
you
if
should.
they're doing their job,
They're
no
not
one
in
hears
the
about
news.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If you hear about it, something went horribly wrong.
Yes,
What I'm
that is an
referring to-
excellent point.
we haven't heard about
Yeah.
ASIS for years. For 10 years, we haven't heard about ASIS. And that means that it's working. We only heard about ASIO last time when they fucked up that Indian doctor and ruined his house because he was distantly related to the doctors that did the abortive Glasgow terrorist run. And they jailed him for a month and a half. And he, when they finally let him go, said, fuck this, I'm going back to India. And everyone said, makes sense, mate. But, we haven't heard about him for a while, which is good. And we haven't heard of ASIS for years and years and years and years and years. So that's great. I'm happy about that. We've heard a bit about the SAS because they've been running around fucking Afghanistan
war
and
crimes.
Iraq for fucking 15 years. So, I mean, it's a bit harsh not to hear about them. But generally speaking, we don't hear about them. The mixing of them with the commandos, I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but it's probably wise because ASIO has been shown lately to be a little bit full of itself. SAS has been shown to be a bit full of itself recently. And to be that they're actually just commandos with better toys might not be a bad thing. I don't know everything, and I don't know what they do because I'm not supposed to know what they do, and I am not supposed to know where they are or what they're about. I mean, they do a lot of shit that I will never hear about in my lifetime. There's a reason why we're getting nuclear submarines, and it's because of what they have to do. I'm glad that we're getting nuclear submarines because Australia's submarines don't shoot things; they fucking look at stuff. And for them to lurk for a long time and look at things is a really good thing. And it's about
Okay.
time we had the ability to lurk. So, you know,
I just had a toilet break, and I want to say we're talking about far too serious things. I need to talk about alcohol again.
you should.
That was the last alcoholic beverage I'm going to have. I might drink some water before going to bed. I might just go to bed. It's like after 11. I might go to bed.
I'm pretty
Micro
tired too.
can't see my thickness because my pants match the darkness. Micro, I need to tell you, I didn't have a shower today till after 4 p.m. And I was about to get dressed after the shower, and I went, why the fuck would I do that? So I put on a shirt so I could appear respectable for the stream, but I'm just wearing my pajama pants and slippers. The bottom half is all just not there. I put a shirt on so I looked respectable, but yeah. But anyway, alcohol. The last alcoholic beverage I had, because I'm probably going to go to bed soon, this is from the Anther Distillery, which is in Geelong. It's a chocolate gin they make, which is really nice. It's really good, and there's lots in it. So Abigail, probably the next time you're able to come here to actually be here physically for stream, I'll probably still have it. When I ordered this, I think I ordered 2 gins from them, and they went, "Oh, we think the chocolate gin goes really well with Fever Tree spiced orange ginger ale." And they actually gave me a 4-pack of this for free. Okay, that's only a couple dollars. Wholesale, that's only a couple of dollars, but it was really nice. It probably cost them more in post. It probably cost them more in postage than it did for the thing. But I did actually, the last beverage I had in this glass was Anther chocolate gin with Fever Tree spiced orange ginger ale. Fucking awesome. So when we get to the stage where I'm allowed to have visitors to my house, and I have a couple of visitors over there.
Do we know when that will be?
About November. I think it's when we get 80% vaccination rates. We're at 70%.
And weren't we organising a picnic at some point?
Oh, I think we can do that now because we've got a 15-kilometer travel thing. I need to look up what the rule is.
Gather in many numbers yet.
No, but there's an outdoor thing. There's an outdoor.
That's what I'm saying.
At some point.
But we're only talking about like Angry, myself, and Annette at this stage.
Yeah.
Well, when we were talking about it a few weeks ago.
Maybe it's 2.
Yeah.
Oh, and AIDS, like yeah.
Yeah, but we have. I literally, I don't know what the exact rules are at the moment. But by November, December, we're going to be pretty. And it's meeting outdoors is going to be easier. So it's 15 kilometers at the moment. So we are all within 15 kilometers of each other. So that's one thing settled. And that's how many people are allowed to gather outdoors at the moment, like to have a picnic. I actually don't know what the rules are at the moment. Mrs. Angry pays more attention to them, so I might ask her tomorrow. But yeah, at some point we need to have a picnic in a park. And by, I think, January, February next year, I might be able to do the thing where I say to the YouTubers, like, because I run some Facebook groups for YouTubers, right? Hey, does someone actually want to physically interact with humans? Let's do a thing where
that sounds like extrovert talk to me.
I know that does sound like extrovert talk, but let's do a thing where we meet up in a park somewhere, and it's like
sounds good.
Okay. But somewhere around January that might be. But yeah, just us in a very small group. I think we're in a thing where we can do that soonish. But yeah, I swear to God, once venues start opening, I'm drawing up a list of I want to lose consciousness in this bar.
Somewhere close to my place.
Yeah, no, because
I don't travel very well. We're gonna hit up Elysian.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely want to go to Elysian. But somewhere between your place and the city, because then there's AZ over here in Northcote, and you over here, and Nettie in the city, and me over here.
There is
somewhere.
Not much between me and the city.
Yeah, exactly right. So
there's not much.
There's a bunch of good venues, and we need to do just
Yeah.
fucking pick some places
We
and
can
like
always go into
fuck
the
yeah.
psych ward at St Vinny's and give it a little bit of. We need the blue footballs because we're just fucking going off, and then just drink
No.
water for the rest of the night.
No, we want to book a table somewhere. It's too complicated to go to multiple venues in one night. I think we want
In
to
the
settle on the
psych ward
venue.
and talk
and
to
just
very
go-
interesting people who are Jesus.
No, I just want to pick a venue where we can have a table. And hello, bartender. I intend to keep ordering drinks till I lose consciousness.
Until we really like put your RSA to test.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
Until you
Right.
say I cannot
It's
legitimately give you more
really-
drinks.
People,
Yes.
fine folk, it's really time that you really do this anymore.
Yeah.
You've got to put your pants on.
Yeah.
Dr.
It's
Abigail,
like-
pants on. Dr. Abigail, pants on. You've really got to.
Like we got to go somewhere that will sell us takeaways as
We have
well.
taken photos, but you've
Oh
got to
yeah.
stop drinking.
Micro
Yep.
USB wants to use a meeting room at hotel. Brother, like when we get international traveling happening in Australia, if you come to Australia, we will absolutely get a private room at a venue and drink a lot, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, drink a lot. I thought there was going to be the other.
Oh no, some of that too. It's going to be it's a private room, and we'll have we'll have a little sign we'll put on the outside of the room saying to the venue staff, you probably shouldn't come. You probably shouldn't come in here. And it's
Leave
like-
room service at the door and knock and run.
Yeah, no. We'll put an envelope with a $50 note on the door, like, and just a note saying, "Seriously, don't come in here." And
And just refill it every now and again.
yeah, that sort of stuff. But yeah, Michael Kearney's asking, would we be refused service after 6 months of lockdown? There are a lot of places that would be, and the thing is, you've got to work really hard. Don't trip over your chair. Don't drop a glass, because then responsible bar staff go, yeah,
Out.
under responsible service of alcohol, if you fall off your bar stool or if you drop your glass, I'm not supposed to give you another drink. So please don't fall over, don't drop things, because I'm compelled to not serve you stuff. Henry's saying we're kicking on in Discord. Look, dude, I'm all for fucking kicking on in live streams and us in our various points. I've absolutely had enough alcohol tonight. But yeah, I think if nothing goes wrong, because we had a pretty good New Year's Eve live stream last year. Abigail and Nettie were actually physically here and we did stuff.
That was a
And,
great night.
That was a very good night. And if
Yes,
nothing goes,
Henry, bring your Commander decks. We will play the fuck out of Magic the Gathering. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Boros
But I
for
th-
life, yo.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
I dropped a glass at a pub once, and I was really dodgy. I was shaky,
yeah.
and I dropped my glass and dropped my stick, and I managed to just sort of catch the glass, and the beer
Yeah.
went everywhere. And I
Yeah.
went, "Oh fuck, I'm gone." And the bartender and the bouncer said, "I think we'll let you have that one." It was a
Yeah.
nice catch, and
Yeah. I want to throw in, this is the thing, because I grew up in New South Wales, in country New South Wales for that point. And New South Wales, the drink sizes are midi and schooner. Midi's a small one. Schooner's a bigger. Schooner is smaller than a pint, for instance, but
unjust.
it's bigger than a half pint, smaller than a pint. Anyway, so my two funniest stories in New South Wales. One is in the RSL club in Dubbo, which is where I grew up. I was there with my brother. My older brother is he's only like 3-4 years older than me. Anyway, we were there, and this is when I didn't drink alcohol. When I was younger, I didn't drink alcohol at all. And I was with him. We were hanging out, and he gave me some money and said, "Okay, I've had enough beers. I don't want to stand up. You go up to the bar and get a couple of drinks. Here's some money." And he said, "Just give me a schooner, a beer." And what you get, I don't know if it's in other states, but in New South Wales, a schooner can be in 2 styles of glass. The man's schooner is completely straight-sided and whatnot, and the ladies' schooner is a bit more curved and elegant and whatnot. So anyway, he says, "Get me a schooner of 2 is new, and you get whatever you want." And I went, "Okay," and I took his money, and I walked up. I was walking up to the bar. This was a very crowded RSL club, and he shouted loud enough to be heard over all the noise of this RSL club bar. Just when I was at the bar and I was ordering drinks, he just shouted really loudly, "Make sure they don't put it in a Pufter's glass." And I just said to the barman, "Did you hear that?" And the barman just laughed and went, "Yeah, okay," and he gave it a try. And the other variant was when I was in Sydney. This was post uni. I was living in Sydney. I still wasn't drinking alcohol, so I'd get a lemon squash, or I'd get a lemon lime and bitters or whatnot. And I was with some friends, and they were drinking pretty heavily, and they were getting louder and rowdier. And I went up to the bar to get a cup of drink, and I said, "Can I get a lemon lime bitters?" And she's put it to me in one of these curvy glasses. And I went, everyone, stop making so much noise. The barmaid's angry at us. She's given me a lemon lime and bitters in a girl's glass. Okay. That's a passive aggressive, "I'm angry at you." Because she served me a drink in a girl's glass. And it was just like,
Can I
that's
interject?
Yes. Please.
Henry has mentioned, has asked, do we play Magic the Gathering? I play Magic the Gathering, and
yes.
I would like to show off some merchandise.
Do it.
This is, I've got 2 of these. Gaia's Cradle. Look up the price.
Ooh, they're expensive.
It's insane. They're like $1,000 or something.
Damn.
Just for a piece of cardboard. What else have I got? Just the odd Omniscience in the with Nicol Bolas on it. Just, Omniscience. Yep, a Daze. I've got a Daze there. This is a good one. This is worth a few $100s, I think. Foil Leovold, which is banned in Commander because it's just like so dumb. Well, it just locks everyone out, and it's not fun. You build a deck around him, and no one else can play Magic when your engine is up and running. It's just. I found this Bitter Blossom the other day. That's not worth much, but Cryptic Command. Few the lands here are expedition lands. So yes, I play Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
I got a couple of demonic tutors just like sitting here in these top loaders. I've got a play set of Grim Monoliths. Here's the 2 Gaia's Cradle, which I play Magic the Gathering.
That's nice. So I'm just throwing out, because I'm not lasting much longer. I'm going to go to bed. But yes, when we have a bit more freedom here in fine Melbourne town, when I'm allowed to have people physically in my house, we're going to do it. And again, everyone in the chat, when we have people physically here in the Angry House for streams, that's when shit gets real. That's when we have some real fun. If I can have AZ over, Abigail, Nettie, some locals over for streams. And yes, I'm just throwing it out to you. I don't know if you're into Gymnasium. I think, Abigail, you'd really like if I got some. That was my last bottle of the Fever Tree orange ginger beer. But the chocolate gin with the Fever Tree orange ginger beer is fucking deadly. It's such a good drink.
Okay.
So
Just
nice.
before you go, I just want to
Yeah.
Black Metal Heart. You mentioned you're missing a cradle for a deck. Find yourself a gold bordered guy's cradle. From the tournament decks. They've got a different card back. They're official. They're not tournament legal.
Okay.
But you can use them as proxies, and they're only like $50-$60 a card.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're playing Commander, you can just use them. Like no one will ever complain. The only reason, I've got a playset of them. Not that you need it for Commander, but damned if I'm putting $1,000 card in a Commander deck that you play on a kitchen table. Like
That's fair.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, I forgot Robot Man Greg, who lives in the CBD of Melbourne. Robot Man Greg and his wife Queenie, who I've known for fucking ever, who live in the Melbourne CBD. Dude, if we get to have the physical hang when we're allowed to have the physical hangs, and also Abigail, Robot Man Greg, he knows all the secret bars. He knows all the fucking secret bars. He's been he knows.
Let's go to Croft Institute and.
I feel so bad. I've never been. I know where the Croft Institute is, and I've never been there.
Yep.
When
It's
shit
kind of
opens
fun.
up again,
It's kind of fun.
It's fun.
For those who don't know,
It's a bit gimmicky, but it's fun.
I love gimmicks. I love gimmicks. For those who don't know, in Melbourne, there's an alley off an alley off an alley called Croft Alley, and right at the end at Croft Alley is a bar called the Croft Institute, and their gimmick is the bar staff dress up in lab coats and shit, and they serve you cocktails in test tubes and beakers. And it's like it's a medical experiment place. I've never been there. I've never
distill
been
their own
there.
vodka. I don't know if they still do, but they used to distill their own vodka.
Oh my god, no! Okay, if you want mad science shit, my personal favorite bar in the Melbourne CBD is Bar Americano, and they have this weird fucking science experiment because the guy behind it, he does shit with centrifuges and whatnot, and he builds up this stuff. And so the bar staff on the night, they go, oh yeah, the boss made some shit. We can make X number of cocktails out of it. And when it's gone, it's gone. My personal favorite is they had this one that was hot and cold. They made some shit with like a whipped cream machine and whatnot, and it was warm. And they kept that in a bath of warm water, and they'd make like some great tropical cocktail that was icy cold, and then they'd put this foam over the top that was warm, and you drink the drink, and you're drinking a drink that's simultaneously warm and cold, and it's fucking amazing. Like the guy behind it, he's been running bars since the early 90s. So I suppose he's in his 60s now. I think the guy, I think he's crazy. I think he's like a mad scientist. And and you go to Bar Americano, and they've got this shit that looks like stuff from a 30s monster movie. And it's like, no, that's all real stuff. It's not props. It's centrifuges and distillation machines. And so we can come up with this weird fucking shit, and we pour it into a glass for you, and you go, that's a nice drink. And it's like there's this mad science behind it. It's fucking great.
So,
Michael Kearney, Naked Satan's a fun bar. Yeah.
Oh, is it though? Okay, so I've been to Naked for Satan because I just live down the road from it.
Yeah, it's next to you.
And corresponding Naked in the Sky, which is their rooftop bar.
Yeah,
I found it like a sports bar with a veneer of not a sports bar. Like apart from the little foodie bits that you can buy.
So that's fair.
Yeah, it was a bit.
That's a fair call. That's a fair call.
It's no Polly, it's no Elysian. It's no.
Yeah, no.
It's a bit. It's Abigail, very. It's mainstream.
Yeah.
Do they still have the Atomic Bar?
Maybe. Abigail's got 3 or 4 legendary bars within a couple hundred meters of where she lives. And then if we go from there towards the city, I'm just saying, I've got a plan. When we're able to go places, we're just going to places and saying, hello, bartender, sir or madam or non-binary person who's serving me drinks. we intend to get inebriated tonight. Can you please provide the necessary? And because there's like a dozen fucking places. Melbourne was, and again, if anyone survived, because I know several of my favorite places have not survived COVID, which is very sad. But when places reopen, if they're open, it's like, hey, you're still here. I'm going to give you money. I'm going to give you money. And you're going to give me an experience. I'm here with some friends. I'm going to give you some money. You're going to give us an experience. And we're going to fucking do it. Please don't call the police. We're probably going to get rowdy.
Micro USB, down on Smith Street, which is one major street down from me, there are two a video game / arcade bars.
Yeah.
And there was a board game themed bar as well, but I think it's shut down because of COVID.
Yeah.
In the CBD, there's two gaming themed bars that may or may not still exist when stuff's open again. And there was also a tabletop gaming bar that may or may not exist when stuff is still open. We'll have to see. Like I say, because I know several of my favorite places don't fucking exist anymore. And I'm really sad about that. But there are other places. And when shit's open, which in Melbourne is probably going to be November, December, when we find out shit's open, I'm absolutely fucking booking some places. And so I don't know who've we got here. Actual Melbourne CBD people: Abigail, Aidsy, Greg, Nettie, Greg's wife Queenie. I'm not fucking about. I'm going to put my fucking credit card across a bar and say, "Hello, bar people. We love the fact that you still exist. We're going to be over here. We're very nice people. We are going tonight. Our intent is to blank out the last 2 years. Okay, can you help us? Because our intent is to forget how fucked the last 2 years have been. So help us out." Nettie's up for it.
Out every queue as well.
Oh, fuck yeah. No, Nettie. Sarah should come too. And again, this is when the things are open, when we can find out how many. We're going to find some. I'm not fucking about. We're going to find a venue where we can book a space and just go, "Hello, bar people. We wish to expunge the horror of the last 2 years from our brains. Can you please help us do that?
Help us do that."
We are going to put your RSA to the test.
And we're going to be real good. We're going to just sit here in the corner and be good. But please, we want to reach a state where we forget how fucked the last 2 years have been. That's our goal. That's our goal.
Put me in an MRI machine.
Oh yeah.
I want to wake up the next day with at least two people naked beside me and no idea what happened.
And not know their names. Not know their names.
Trust me, I'll know what happened.
Yeah.
Preferably female.
Yeah.
Naked bodies.
I'll know what happened.
Yeah. Oh my god. All right. So okay, I'm going to go to bed now. But we have a goal now. We have
a goal.
Yep.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah, it's going to be epic.
It's going to be epic.
And if all things all things being equal, if we can do a New Year's Eve stream that has people physically in the same space, that will be great.
Yes.
If not, we'll do this sort of stuff on New Year's Eve. But I'm pretty sort of hype that we could be in the same physical space on New Year's Eve. I don't want to. Jesus, those things of being in places with 1,000 people. No, fuck that. Being somewhere with half a dozen people, that's good. That's good. We do that.
Yes. Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go to bed now. I'm going to knock this on the head.
Good night.
So keep an eye out, people. We're going to be good. So Jesus, no! Tomorrow night's another stream, Sunday night, but it's probably going to be a pretty.
Also, Dune Club.
Dune
Club's
Club,
on tomorrow.
yeah. Okay, we're doing that. We're doing that earlier, and then an angry stream, probably 8 till 10. Yes, I'm going to sit.
No,
down
it's
with
before. It's before midnight, Safa, so he gets to go sleep in the big bed.
Oh my God, Abigail actually knows the rules. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I actually checked that. That's literally I said to Mrs. Angry early tonight. What's the latest you're prepared to accept coming in? And she said midnight. I went, all right, and that's why I'm switching stuff off now.
It's fair.
Because I get snuggles with Mrs. Angry if I go to bed now. So
good night. Live long and prosper.
It's also okay. Like last night,
life.
I stayed up till really fucking late, and I slept on the lounge. And it's like, then I wake up at 6 a.m. and I go, oh, it's light. I'll take my CPAP machine and I'll go in the bedroom. And because Mrs. Angry tends to wake up relatively early, and I get a few snuggles, and I sleep for another couple of hours in the big bed. But if I go off now, I get to sleep. It's mildly freaky that Abigail knows the rules that I get to sleep in the big
You've
bed.
mentioned it before.
I know. If I go to bed before midnight, I get to sleep in the big bed. But that's okay. So yeah, anyone who wants to hang out, we're going to do a stream, but probably just a 2-hour stream tomorrow. Aidsy, you've been a fucking champion tonight. I thought you were going to last like 5 or 10 minutes, and you've lasted a couple of hours.
It was it looked like it was touch and go for a while. So
yeah, for the first 10 or 15 minutes, it looked like you weren't going to last, but you've been a fucking champion. And everyone fucking loves and misses you. So this has been an epic stream tonight. We're going to go out on a high, but before I lose consciousness and before any of that stuff happens. So again, yeah, if you're up for it tomorrow night, it's probably just going to be 8 to 10 tomorrow night, and we'll take it from there. But you fabulous people, just endless amounts of love and stuff going out. But for now. And I know some people are in different time zones, so it doesn't make sense to say we're going to bed, but we're going to bed. And yeah. Good night, everybody. I'm clicking the end.